All right, hello and welcome everybody to another cast in Alchemy League Season 9. This season we are featuring Hyperrandom by Zetnus. We got another difference in the fact that we have 3 sprints as opposed to the usual 2. A couple of warm-up sprints to help us screen out all the flakes, and then a big, long final sprint, which is what we're in right now. We're in the 3rd sprint of Alchemy League Season 9. This sprint is 9 rounds long. Sorry, not 9. 6 rounds long. So it's got to match people up against 6 other people, and a little bit more of a stretch than usual. What can I say? We might see a little bit of handicap. And in fact, in one of the sets, we are going to see some handicap today. In the casting booth with us, we got Biscuits. He is a high-skilled United States player. He's what? He's around 1900 now or something like that.
Yep, that's about right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but we'll have Biscuits help us break down some of the thought patterns and strategies here. As always, we like to start with the lower elo and work our way up throughout the cast so that the level of play builds upon what we saw previously. So I've got the Alchemy League Season 9 page on my screen right now. We're going to scroll down to seeding, select the seeding here so you guys can see. We have in the first set, it actually turns out we have Banana Philosopher again. And I usually don't like to cast the same person back to back, but it so happens that there was a game patch last time. And so these were the only two new recordings available since that game patch that I knew of. And it happened that Banana Philosopher was playing in one. So we'll get to see him again. Banana Philosopher will be up against Alexander, who is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe? It's quite far away up here. The difference between seed 20 and 29. And but Banana Philosopher will have a 5% handicap to help him out. And then in the second set, we're going to see, where is it? Jag Warrior here versus Kitsa. So we're talking about upper 1600s, lower 1800s between Jag Warrior and Kitsa. And then Banana Philosopher is lower 1300s, and Alexander is 1600. So Banana Philosopher and Alexander are both from India. Jag Warrior is from France, and Kitsa is from Mexico. And Jag Warrior is new to this season of the league, so is Banana Philosopher. But Alexander and Kitsa have been with us for a long time. So those are the players that we're talking about. Let me bring up their civilization drafts real quick. I will explain that. And then we'll hop right into it, unless Biscuits has a profound oration that he wants to deliver.
The only thing that's kind of interesting to see, so Kitsa and Jag Warrior, I'm familiar with because they've played in a lot of other community tournaments. And so I've seen them around. I don't know, maybe I'll be able to spot something about their playstyle, but it can be kind of hard.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot you can do.
Yeah, they get around, these guys. They like to play in a lot of different things. All right, so we got Alexander and Philosopher here, just as kind of my working example. The admin randomly bans 5 civilizations at the start, and then they each globally ban 2 civilizations, and then they pick 3, and then snipe 1 civilization hidden and in parallel, and then they pick 3 more. And so that has left Alexander with Romans, Japanese, Malay, Gurjaras, and Chinese. He's not allowed to have Bengalis. And Banana Philosopher is left with Spanish, which kind of surprises me. Magyars, Vietnamese, Mayans, and Berbers. But he did pick Spanish first. And this Mongols pick has been sniped by Alexander. Mongols are a popular pick and a popular snipe on Hyperrandom because the randomness of the map means that there could be a lot of huntable meat, both in terms of the number of animals and the amount of food on those animals. And Mongols have a hunting bonus. So it makes sense to deny them from your opponents. Georgians, of course, getting globally banned, which is not a surprise here. Any comments about the civilization draft, Biscuits?
I think the most interesting thing to me is picking Gujaras. Now, I don't know if you've seen this a lot, but Gujaras is a strange pick to me because it's so volatile. Like, they really rely on getting the mill up and having a bunch of sheep, and you really don't know. I mean, you might hit big and there's like 20 sheep, right?
Yeah.
But the odds are kind of low. So that's an interesting pick to me. Romans is also an interesting first pick. Not that it's bad, but I would personally prefer something a bit more flexible, like as a first pick. You never know, right? Like Italians can be good, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're good on water, they're good on land. Japanese, I quite like as a second pick. You know, it could be good to have a lot of different mills, a lot of lumber camps. Res can be all over the place. But I mean, the rest of the civs look pretty reasonable to me. You know, Malay, Chinese, those are pretty good in a lot of different ways. Magyar's always good in open maps. Vietnamese very flexible. Berbers pretty open. They're good on navy and land.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they end up doing here. So now we are gonna change scenes, and we're gonna go into the game. So one sec, guys. There we go. I'm on 5 seconds and ready whenever you are, Biscuits.
Yep. Do you want
All
me
right,
to count down or do you want me
sure.
to go?
3, 2, 1, go. So you start housed. You start with 2 skirmishers here. Um, that could be kind of annoying, actually. A ranged starting scout is always very annoying because they can harass you through quick walls. That's why it's generally not recommended. But in this case, it's only a skirmisher with 2 attack. And you do have a couple skirmishers yourself that you can defend with. So, oh wow, this is quite the map, huh?
Yeah, it kind of looks like reminds me of a map called Isthmus, which is what it sounds like. There's like a big strip of land in the middle between two ponds. But these ponds don't actually have a lot of fish, but they do have a lot of gold, which could be important in the long term.
It could be. Now, I think that this map will not be as campy as Isthmus because if the shallows weren't here, you could easily wall your opponent out. Although Isthmus, I think it has like an unwallable border, doesn't it? So
Yeah,
it
something like
doesn't really matter anyway. But what we're probably not going to see is we're probably not going to see a player make some big grand wall to wall off their section, folks in chat, because there's just a massive amount of shallows and your opponent can just walk around. So we might still see the smaller walls. Banana Philosopher, he's got a decent base here. You know, he could just all he's got is this big wall off here where this stone is, and then he can wall off here and wall off to the back of his base. Alexander's base is a lot more open on the front, so Alexander could have a tougher time walling. I think Alexander will have to play more grit. Oh no, Alexander's skirmisher.
that. Yeah, I was just seeing that. That's
He's
a lot of
a
a lot of stuff
lot
chasing
of
that skirm.
wildlife chasing him. He should be sending that skirmisher to his opponent's base. We've seen that in Alchemy League. Um, but he sends it home so that he can save it, and he idles his town center a little bit, but at least he manages to save the skirmisher. Well, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. So the main thing I would say these skirms are going to be good for is they can shut down a man-at-arms rush. Not that they do a lot of damage, but just because you have something out, it makes the man-at-arms rush worse, right? Because
Really,
usually you don't have military out.
that's
Because
interesting.
normally you think about it, a man-at-arms or militia rush, the main benefit, your opponent has no military, right? They just have a scout. But right now we have skirms. Skirms, they kind of suck, right? But they can kite the enemy around, right? You can run away, hide behind walls, and just pelt the men-at-arms. It could still be fine. Like Romans, right? They have strong men-at-arms, so they could still make it work with the armor. But I would say it's slightly less favorable.
Now, I want to point something out, which is that Banana Philosopher has 209 stone. And this isn't because he went and harvested any, stone from nearby. All of these stone mines have 349. The reason he has 209 stone is because of the handicap. And if we check on one of his villagers, you can see the villager has 41 HP, which is 5%, which is accounting for that 5% handicap. So the way that the handicap works is it does a bunch of things. It makes your villagers more productive. It gives you more bonus damage. And it's quite powerful, really. So I think that Banana Philosopher could be a very serious challenger to Alexander here with the 5% handicap. I don't know, Biscuits, if you played in that Mike Jet Kraken Slayer tournament at all. Did you play in that tournament?
No,
You didn't,
no, I
but
did not.
that's where our handicap system comes from. And we made a deal with Mike Jet that we could use that handicap system for Alchemy League seeding in case we got two really distant players matched up for whatever reason. Um, we made that deal with him, but the condition was is that we had to say where we got it from, which was no problem because we love Mike Jet. He's a very nice guy. So, Banana Philosopher, the handicap could work very well with his style. The style that we've seen in Banana Philosopher so far for Alchemy League has been high aggression. He tends to do 1 or 2 town center pushes or go up to imp very quickly. And Alexander, I think, is a little bit more of a boomer.
Interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't typically associate booming with the Romans. Not that I mean, they have good vills, but I think late game they usually struggle against some civs. So you want to like put your eco to work, making a bunch of military. But we'll see.
Yeah,
need to make something.
it's kind of interesting. Banana Philosopher's handicap, in a way, sort of completely negates this Roman bonus. Villagers gather, build, and
True.
repair 5% faster. Banana Philosopher is getting that through handicap. So
Yeah, that's true.
this is the one match in this set where Alexander is like tied up with Banana Philosopher inherently for eco. And Banana Philosopher, being the Magyars, doesn't get an eco bonus of his own, except being able to kill wolves in a single hit, if you even count that as an eco bonus.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, they both went to the docks, and okay. So Banana Philosopher did go for the dock on the other side. I think because we scouted that they don't have a dock on our side, so
that would make a lot of sense. Alexander's has scouted. Yeah, I guess he scouted mainly the pond on the left, and knows that Banana Philosopher isn't there. And Banana Philosopher's vision is he scouted the pond on the right. So both players are very interested in whether or not the other guy has docked the same pond that they have. And the answer is they're just content to fish boom for now.
yeah.
Although we might see them build up a dock to contest the fishing.
Think okay, yeah. So are we both? I'm saying checking if both are going to gold because you need gold, right, to go for naval units, of course.
I see Banana Philosopher going on gold now. He sent 2 villagers to build a mining camp.
Yeah. I don't see gold from Alexander though. I wonder if we want an FC here, but you still want gold for that.
Right.
Or maybe okay. You see in the right pond? I think maybe we're going for the gold, like the oysters.
Ah, that could be. Oh, this Byreme is OP. It just killed one of Alexander's villagers.
I think this is the Castle Age version of the Chronicles ramming sieve. So you probably want to make galleys to deal with this.
Oh yeah, look at him. He's like lunging forward with that pointed prow and just crashing through the walls of the dock. But apparently this Byreme has like a ranged attack too. I don't know how it was able to kill the villager over here. Maybe it rammed him. That'd be pretty awkward. A very awkward way to die by getting rammed by a warship. But
you'd end up beaching the ship at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, something that might come into play here is that the Magyars have their the melee attack for free. I want to see. Yeah, it does affect the ship actually.
Wait, what?
I think.
Alexander is going galleys.
Yeah, the galleys actually will kill it. So unless we micro away, shouldn't be a big deal.
Banana Philosopher is building a Hulk to contest the Byreme that is attacking his second dock. So both the players are kind of fighting a water battle here. But Alexander did end up building a mining camp on his gold, his main gold.
Okay.
But he's not harvesting from it right now. He just sent all the miners home. Banana Philosopher losing a villager that was building an outpost to some crocodiles and this random lion that thinks it's part of this crocodile family. Hey, Crazy Joe, welcome. Crazy Joe's in chat. Crazy Joe, we are co-casting with Biscuits here. We're doing Alexander versus Banana Philosopher because these wrecks are fresh and unspoiled by a recent game patch. Banana Philosopher.
The game looks pretty even. The only thing is like, well, I'm trying to take a look. Oh, okay. Actually, this is really good. Banana Philosopher repairing the Byreme, which is great because you can't remake that.
Yep.
That's super important.
I was just gonna point that out too. Smart to repair it. Alexander's Byreme, he's sending home probably for repairs. Yeah. We'll see. He's got a dude fishing here next to some shore fish, so he'll probably repair it. It's unfortunate he missed these sheep, actually.
Oh yeah. Oh wow, that's just.
Oh, he can see it actually. He could get it. So,
for later.
Are we going to see... I guess Banana Philosopher is still fishing successfully, and Alexander is still fishing successfully, so neither of them have really invested enough in water on the opposing pond to take their opponent off of resources. They've only invested in defense, really, which is kind of an interesting choice. They both have... Well, it makes sense. They both invested in the pond that their fish is located in.
These are also kind of hard to, because you have so much space, it's kind of hard to deny your opponent from docking and like, you can make a backup dock. You have a lot of space to run around with your navy. The only thing I'm looking at here, so okay, actually they both are around Castle Age res, but they're sort of missing a second building. So I think they're both going to click up pretty soon.
Yep, Banana Philosopher is building a market. He just finished a stable, and he's actually making a few scouts, which is a little bit funny. Unfortunately for him, Alexander appears to be fully walled, although there might be a hole in the wall right here. Not sure. We'll see.
I think there could be by the wood line, yeah.
Banana Philosopher is not walled. He has an easier time of it too, but he should probably try to wall his base. T. Blekko, hello, welcome.
So something interesting will be to see how much the players continue to invest on Navy when they might want to add TCs or like, knights or something. I think it's pretty worth. I mean, look how much gold, like how much gold was in oysters? I mean, it's like 42,000 on the left and like 46,000 on the right. So it's a pretty big deal. You might not need it right away though.
Unfortunately for Banana Philosopher, his one scout revealed the hole, so Alexander's going to plug it with a barracks.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing where if you see your scout run in, you're like, oh shoot, and you pull it out real quick, and then you come back later with more. So Banana Philosopher not going to be able to get in with those scouts, but at least he got a little bit of information.
Yeah, we see this sort of layout now. Yeah, I mean, you can't really hit much. You really need, like, siege at this point. Alexander's pretty well fortified.
Alexander has invested more in Navy and the right pond, and he has basically managed to kill Banana Philosopher's ships. Banana Philosopher has a few rogue fishing ships that are still taking resources, but this Hulk is going to finish them off.
Yeah, I think at this point, if you're the Magyar player, you pivot and I would say get a siege workshop, honestly. And just make a bunch of army.
Now he's on stone here. I'm wondering if Banana Philosopher is thinking about a castle drop on his opponent.
That actually could be big.
That would actually be very devastating when you think about it. Like, look at Alexander's base here. A castle drop could deny this gold. It could deny this stone. Maybe if you built your castle right here in the center. The only minerals that Alexander has that a castle would not deny are these gold mines in the back, which are pretty pathetic. And, I mean, actually, I was just going to say Banana Philosopher could compare them to his own gold mines in the back. I guess they're these ones. I don't know if he considers those his back gold. I would. And, they only have 273 gold in them apiece, so they're not that great. So I would totally want to castle drop my opponent. If I had map control with scouts like this, castle dropping my opponent would be a good play.
It's also good because if you look at, like, it's pretty safe for Alexander, right? But it's also cramped. So if you get pushed, you kind of run out of space to run. Oh, here come the pikes, though.
Yeah.
Going to clean things up.
It's really
what you need. I think you need some scorpions or mangonel. That would be fine, too.
Yep. So Banana Philosopher, let's check his stone count. See if we can predict when he's going to build a castle. He's starting to get there, right? He's not really sort of lost interest in ships. He's on 1 town center, 3 stable. Okay, he's adding another more forward town center to take map control. And is Alexander building more fishing ships? It doesn't really look like it. Looks like Alexander's content to just add a second town center. And, oh, no, he's adding a 3rd town center on this stone.
So actually, that could also be a target for the forward castle, so kind of ironic.
Mm-hmm.
But you could also just ignore it for now.
So we're keeping an eye on it, chat. We're going to know the moment that Banana Philosopher makes a castle decision. Looks like he's just deleted a palisade wall, so he's going to send his villagers out. It's a pretty good sign.
Coming.
Yep. All right. The stone has been deducted. Where's the castle going to be? Oh, yeah. I love that castle. That's a good castle. It could be a little bit more aggressive, And I think Alexander knows about the vulnerability of that location too, because he's got his pikemen standing right there. Is Banana Philosopher going to be able to get this castle up, though? He doesn't know about the monks.
The monks actually are a pretty big deal. If you micro the scouts, you can maybe snipe them, though. So we'll see. These knights actually can take this fight because they have full upgrades, and these pikes only have the first armor.
Yeah, but with the monks, they might not be able to take the fight.
Oh yeah, but we pulled the monks are totally out of position.
Yep.
So
that's a really good win for Banana Philosopher right there. He's going to be able to build his castle now.
Nope. Yeah, there it is. I don't think this is stopped now. Even if we get conversions.
Yep, I agree. So Alexander getting a couple of good conversions here. He's going to try to maybe snipe the villagers. No, looks like he's running off with the knights to raid, perhaps. Not sure. Just wants to keep them alive. So Banana Philosopher with a gorgeous castle drop here. He could get the range upgrades, and actually he could range this gold here. But this castle basically shuts down all of his opponent's forward gold. It does not shut down his opponent's stone, but that's what the forward siege workshop is for.
Yeah, perfect.
Hey, Hyder, welcome. Good engagement from Banana. And TB Tiblako, I'm happy that you're here. I don't think I recognize you. Let me know if I know you by a different name, if that's okay. And if I do know you by a different name and you're familiar to me, then that would be pretty exciting. But if you're also new to the stream, that would be pretty exciting too. So either way, it's a win that you're here. But yeah, I'm just kind of curious how you found us. If you just random YouTube algorithm, which is really quite bad. That YouTube algorithm has done nothing, almost nothing for us. Or if you're with us through Discord, usually people find us through like, hey, I've got a friend that, you know, is playing in Alchemy League and they refer us to others. So let me know. I'm curious if you're still here. Alright, so we got some forward ranges and a forward monastery. Oh no, Banana Philosopher is going to lose that villager. Forward ranges and monastery. Do you agree with a switch into Cav Archers at this time, Biscuits?
Yeah, so this will be great against the pikes. It's basically like, so if you're going to go into CA here, you're basically saying, I'm going to stay in Castle Age for a while. Like, because you're going to be spending too much res to go to Imp. Another way would be you just go to try to get to Imp before your opponent. I think this is fine, though. I really like, okay, yeah, we're making Rams. That's perfect. These actually knights, okay, we can't go in yet, but like once this market or one of these houses fall or something, we could kill pretty much everything. These are really like powerful knights right now with the upgrades.
So Banana Philosopher discovering that his opponent has built a castle here. And, you know, maybe that kind of changes your mind a little bit about whether or not you invest more heavily in Castle Age. Like, if I saw this castle here, I would probably want to go Imperial Age as soon as possible and treb it down. But Banana Philosopher has made his choice. He's made a good ball of cavalry archers so far, and he's getting the armor for them. He's even got a repair villager there on the ram. That's kind of funny. Repair villager doesn't last very long, unfortunately. He might need a mangonel.
That castle, you can't really push this down anymore. He's
going to need a mangonel, at least a couple mangonels. But with the Rams could totally go after the market, and that's what he should do. He should just pivot and be like, oh, well, all right, that castle's there. It's in my way. I'm just going to go somewhere else. It could have been a different game, too. Like, imagine if Banana Philosopher had, like, built his castle on this hill overlooking the town center instead and denied the stone. Then Alexander would be over here on the gold, and he'd be pushing the gold instead. But there might not be a defensive castle. Or if there were, it would come at great cost. But I definitely think Banana Philosopher is playing it right here. If you have the handicap, maybe you want to be more aggressive with the handicap. You know, try to take advantage of some of that bonus damage. I don't know. What do you think handicap should do? Do you think handicap should play aggressive, or do you think they should try to boom up and get maximum economic advantage?
I think whenever you are the underdog, or so I'm just looking at, okay, yeah, it looks like this fight will get cleaned up because of the castle, so that's pretty good. You lose the siege, so it does slow you down. But I think typically speaking, when you're the underdog, you want to be pretty aggressive. often what will happen is if you play too long of a game, the opponent's better experience or just sort of better skills is going to give them a bigger advantage. So I like the aggressive play. That being said, we got another defensive castle that in theory will shut this down if it goes up, which I think it will.
Alexander sending the whole town to build that castle.
It does go up.
Another reason to go up to Imp as soon as possible. However, oh, we got defensive Trebs here. Yeah, he's not getting in. Or Mangonels, sorry.
So now we go Imp at this point. Go Imp. Just thinking about what do we pivot to.
Banana Philosopher selling off some wood to click up to the Imperial Age.
There's something interesting. This hasn't come into play yet, but because Alexander still has the Navy on the left here, it means we can secure like vills going along that side, right? There's nothing like the Navy is actually pretty good at fighting off land units.
And Alexander was afraid of aggression from his left flank, which is why Banana Philosopher was afraid of aggression over there because he built an outpost to try and see what would happen. And the animals shut it down.
Yeah, so that could be an angle. You could go forward there, but I think for now, Alexander's probably just going to defend, and it looks favorable, I would say. Like, we just have a better eco, but it is a little messy. And this position is pretty strong for Banana Philosopher, so we could, in theory, push this down. I think it is downhill as well for Alexander. So that makes a big deal for Treb shots.
And Alexander is imping as well. Banana Philosopher is going to be their first. Alexander is completely run out of gold in his base. His only source of gold for now are the oysters. And luckily for him, there is no opportunity. Actually, his opponent could come out here with cavalry archers and, I guess, attack the oystering ships. But, as you were explaining, Alexander does have navy that could defend that area. So, but without gold, he can't build that navy forever. But he does have a lot of other resources to sell, which is another reason to go up to Imp as quickly as possible, because your opponent has less time to build up a big economy to sell off resources and get gold.
So it's really going to come down to the Treb war here, I think.
Yep.
Because, so basically, Banana Philosopher still has a window here. Like, we kill the castles, we kill everything. Or Alexander defends, and then our stronger eco is going to hit.
I feel that Banana should not be making so many pikes anymore. I think he needs to go into Cavalier. He needs something that can snipe enemy trebuchets and siege weapons. Even though the cavalry archers are nice and they're good at killing pikemen, this isn't really about fair land units versus land units anymore. This is about keeping trebuchets alive, and whoever knocks over the enemy castles first retains their position.
Let's look at, we have a lot of Roman scorpions, so those are with ballistics, so those are really nasty against cavalry archer.
Banana Philosopher getting ballistics. I guess he wants to make sure that his castle is able to track accurately the movement of enemy units. I bet Banana Philosopher doesn't realize that Alexander's up. I think if Banana Philosopher realized, well, he realizes it now. Maybe he didn't realize it initially. But Alexander just has a ton of stuff. Where's Banana Philosopher's?
So we do have 2 town sensors. The Centurions are pretty good at sniping Trebs, but oh, we gotta repair that Treb. That's super important. Okay, it does live.
He is sending villagers forward to repair it.
Okay, that's good. That's good. But okay, here's another problem. You see how Alexander has 2 on 1 castles, so that means we can afford to lose a castle, and we can produce more Trebs than our opponent.
Yep. He's outnumbered with castles. Oh, he's got these Magyar Hussars. That's even better. Magyar Hussars would be amazing at sniping these siege weapons. Just got to make sure he gets the upgrades for them. Needs armor specifically.
That would be huge. Back home.
He's thinking the right things, though. The Magyar Hussars, but he doesn't have enough villagers forward on this castle to repair it. He really needs to do something to clear out these trebuchets. And
We got
Banana
more vills
Philosopher's...
coming in, but I think they're too slow.
Yeah, it's too late. He's got to throw down a
Yeah,
bunch of houses now because he's housed.
that's
And
pretty brutal.
Alexander rolling forward with monks, scorpions, halberdiers, some mangonels. He's got a bunch of nasty things. This is the army composition that Magyars are terrified of. Magyars don't want to deal with Pike Siege. At least not on a relatively closed map like this.
Yeah, it's gonna be really hard to use your mobility on this kind of setup, especially when you might. I actually think I wasn't thinking about this earlier, but I think Banana Philosopher could consider docking again on either side. Just make some like fires if you want, or hulks, and then you could reclaim a bunch of gold. It could give you some map presence. I don't know if we're thinking about that right now, but that could be valuable.
Wait a second. Let me check Alexander's gold income. It says he's got 32 on gold. Where are they?
Oh, there's a little corner on the left.
Oh, there it is.
Left.
He snuck out there.
That actually could be ranged by Navy if Philosopher took the Navy back. But I wouldn't blame you for like, okay, we need to just get all of our upgrades in. That also is pretty reasonable.
Hyder in my chat with Italian ethno-nationalism, saying Romans can steamroll from here. Yeah, Hyder. We know that you love the Romans. No, I'm just joking. But those guys over in those guys over in GDR, Hyder's clan, they all adore Romans. I think it's their favorite civilization.
Not biased at all, of course.
Actually, it'd be interesting to hear Hyder's thoughts about whether or not he prefers Romans or actual Italians. Not that Romans weren't real Italians, but they're like old school Italians, But yeah, this is kind of a nightmare situation to be up against Romans in. If you want to beat Romans here, you basically need to out-Roman them, which essentially means having a bunch of monks behind a similar army composition and just converting all their scorpions, or using bombard cannons against the scorpions.
Yeah.
Those are two good options there,
those.
and Magyars have neither. No redemption monks and no bombard cannons, so it's gonna be tough here. Maybe Banana Philosopher can exploit these large shallows, to flank and get around. I would say that's kind of his sort of one option, because there's some juicy eco in here that he could raid, or over here. Although the shallows don't reach very far down here, you'd have to weave through and maybe get walled out. Tibleco says, I think Paladins were the best unit here. Paladins would be pretty good. I think the Magyar Hussar are a little bit smarter in terms of, like, if you don't have access to gold, but he does have access to a lot of gold, so Paladins are pretty powerful. Maybe they could be pretty OP here.
Yeah, because when you're dealing with all of these scorpions, like the Magyar Hussar are gonna be great, like they shred them quickly, but I don't know how tanky they are. That's why a Paladin would be great for that case. So hard to say, but the problem here is like, yeah, I mean, like, Banana Philosopher has no way to face this army, right? And it's I don't know what we would even go around and hit. We could definitely hit the gold miners on the left, but it's kind of hard to get to them.
So Hyder says that's a tough one. He thinks that Romans suit his playstyle more. But he likes Sicilians as well. I guess Sicilians kind of count, right? They're part of the Roman Empire.
I like Sicilians. I'm not Italian as far as I know, though. I'll tell you that much.
Crazy Joe is asking if Hyder saw the movie The Godfather. Don't know. It's a good question. It's a pretty classic movie. At least cavalry archers dodging the missiles, but kind of hard to do when your opponent has ballistics. And Banana Philosopher coming in for the big fight here. The Magyar Hussar sweeping around, getting a flank on the Scorpions. That's a pretty good flank there.
Okay,
but they're also losing a lot. Yeah.
We lose a lot, but we are going to clear it. So that does buy us more time, which is good.
Yeah, that was actually a really good engagement for Banana Philosopher. Who lost more gold there? I would say probably Alexander did. I mean, siege is expensive. It costs a lot of gold. These Magyar Hussars, as long as they got the Corvinian army upgrade, which I assume they did, They don't require any gold, and I think most of the cavalry archers remained unscathed from the engagement. Yeah, not a lot of damage taken from there, and there's some monks that can heal them. Alright, the elite upgrade finally coming in for Magyar Hussar for Banana Philosopher. Alexander, all he has to do is just keep building more of the same, I suppose. He's got basically unlimited resources. Yeah, look at this. Alexander has almost 5,000 gold in the bank.
Yeah. I see a big problem here is we only have 2 siege workshops. So the siege is pretty slow to, like, produce right now.
Hyder correcting us and saying that the island of Sicily is actually a part of Italy. He says Sicilians are Italians, technically. Or at least that they're the same people. I don't know about that, Hyder.
I don't know the history, so
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not gonna.
I know that Argentina claims the Falklands. No, I'm just joking. It's not quite like that, but I get you. They're very, very similar people.
Heavy cav archer. Yeah, you know what? I think Alexander just needs more production abilities. Look how much res we're floating so much stuff in our stockpile. So we just need to spend it right now.
And he could be right. He could be expanding out to the right here. He's got some build space. He's got a little bit of build space to the left, but not as much. He's built a Dromon as the Romans. I guess he's using it to prevent Banana Philosopher from ever redocking. Banana Philosopher's got a stable that he's putting up here, and I guess the Dromon is firing upon that. More stables from Banana Philosopher. Is he going to do the Paladin switch?
That could be good. The Dromons also, I think they can range this castle, this Magyar castle here in the center. I'm pretty sure they can hit that.
Well, they can definitely hit it from the right pond, both castles.
Yeah.
I don't know that he can hit it from the left.
Oh, not from the left. Yeah, you're right.
There's a way to click it to be able to tell. I mean, Alexander has a dock on both sides, so he could build Dromons. And he's got a Dromon on the right-hand side, actually. He's got a few of them. But those Dromons have to enter the shallows in order to range those docks. And Banana Philosopher sending some knights to chase them down.
Yeah. The fact that normally there isn't shallows like this, so that would be good. But now that I'm looking at it, it's not as good when the knights can just run it down.
I'm sorry, guys, if I sound a little bit snivelly during the cast. That's why I had Biscuits and his charming voice here. I just made some fresh salsa before the cast because I have an event I'm going to afterward, and I made the mistake of rubbing my nose after cutting up the peppers. Oh yeah, and so I feel like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer here. So Alexander going into Centurions. Can somebody explain the appeal of Centurions? Like, why is this unit so good?
So they're basically like a better, more expensive knight, which in most cases means you're not going to use them in 1v1 because they're just too gold heavy. But there's so much gold on this map, I actually think it makes sense. Although we keep, unfortunately, running Centurions into the enemy fire. So I don't mind it here because it's just kind of a better knight, but you do need to pair it with the rest of your military.
So it's got this boot, and it has a golden circle around the boot, or the boot is inside a golden circle, and it has a 0. What does that mean? Something about them boosting another unit?
Yeah, so it'll buff the militia line. It'll make them attack slightly faster. We're not using that right now, so it's not really going to come into play. But yeah, it would boost the attack rate of militia. The
militia line or infantry in general?
Oh, infantry in general too. Okay, so actually,
well, I don't know. I'm asking. I don't like. We could go and check the tech tree, I guess.
I think it's just. Yeah. Well, actually, that is a good question. Maybe it is both. But
so the tech tree says buffs nearby militia line units.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. I wasn't sure, but.
So Hyder's explaining that Italian is more of an umbrella term. All Sicilians end up being Italian, but not all Italians are Sicilians. Like Tuscans, Lucanians, Apulians, Venetians, Sardinians, Lombards, you get the idea. There were a lot of city-states in Italy for a long time. Probably most of Italy's history, it was not one unified country, but maybe city-states. You can correct me if I'm wrong about this. So it makes sense that there are many different denominations of Italian.
You know, it looks like Alexander was missing uh, the ballista's tech, which makes your Scorpion stronger, which I think would have made a big difference in these fights.
Perhaps the Scorpions would have been able to track his opponent's units a little bit better with ballistics and deal some more damage. There's a technology coming in right now. Ballistas for Alexander. You can check and see what ballistas even does. Scorpion lines fire 33% faster.
See, that would have made a difference.
Galley line +2 attack. That would have made a difference.
Now we're seeing actually how much gold Alexander has spent, because now we're like, we don't have any gold stockpiled at all. There is still a lot of gold though. So I mean, we have all the navy, so it's not the end of the world.
So no, it's not the end of the world. Alexander, I feel like he hasn't gotten really good value, and actually Banana Philosopher has managed to hold on here. I didn't think that he would. I thought that Alexander would like go into legionaries and mass scorpions, heavy scorpions, and just overwhelm his opponent. But Banana Philosopher's been able to snipe the siege weapons and essentially hold Alexander at bay. Alexander going into Centurions as well, which I think was a mistake. I don't think that the unit for what it cost didn't bring enough value to him.
You know what? It could have been useful. We actually could have sent some Centurions to raid. Like, they are really nasty for raiding. Because you look at on the left here, Banana Philosopher has like these vills have no protection at all. They're just chopping wood completely in the open.
Yeah, hasn't even gotten the outpost up yet. So maybe Hyder can tell us, as an experienced Italian, what should Romans be doing right now? What do you think Alexander should do?
That's a good question. As an experienced Italian.
Hyder's got all kinds of good AoE experience. He's helping us out with judging the maps for this next season of Alchemy League Season 10. He's one of 5 people that are gonna help us go through the maps and make sure that they're competitive. So he's known for being able to recognize exploits, which is important. So both got this no man's land. The front hasn't really moved very much. I wonder if it's going to come down to who runs out of gold first. Alexander has 57 on gold.
Yeah, there's some more gold in the corner too. I actually think the stone is a bigger deal. Like, we're out of stone, so we have to buy it now, and that's going to get really expensive.
Yeah, not as much stone on the map for sure. Banana Philosopher has built a... Wait, what in the... The villagers have the berry picking animation now when collecting from oysters. Has that always been like that? I feel like I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it didn't used to be that way. I'm not sure when they changed it. That's fairly recent, I think.
Siege rams, suggests Hyder. Ooh, I love siege rams.
That's a good idea, yeah. To tank the CA fire.
Siege rams are definitely a game-ending unit. They're so good. And they do get them. So siege rams make a lot of sense.
You know, something else. So this is always a tricky thing, but I think both players actually probably have a few too many villagers. When your eco is this strong, you need to start to think about how much army can I field on the map. And with 154 villagers, you can only field 46 units, which is not a lot.
That's true. You know, sure, it's good to have the income, but if you can be winning fights decisively because you outnumber your opponent, and therefore you don't need to collect as many resources because you outnumber your opponent and you're not taking as many losses, then it would make a lot of sense. Now, Alexander trying to do something a little cute here. He's come around with his halberdiers and his scorpions, and he's going to attack with a trebuchet from the side. He's also snagging the relic. Now, Alexander remembering that Alchemy League is standard victory condition, so if you get all the relics, you can start a countdown to win. And he might feel like this game has reached a stalemate, although this castle very expensive to repair right now. And Alexander has 2 relics in his monastery, and he wants to bring home this 3rd. I don't know if Banana Philosopher knows about it, or is going to try to shut it down. Alexander's made a bunch of Centurions here. Banana Philosopher maybe doesn't understand, or maybe he does now because he's seen the relic been dropped finally. But I think that... What do you think? I think Alexander should kind of deal with this castle right here, which is costing so much gold. He's got to buy the stone. This castle is so expensive. Alright, there are legionaries. Because Alexander, I think if he could get that relic... I don't think Banana Philosopher has any relics. Oh, no, wait, there's one more relic back here. Does Alexander know about it? He does.
He gets that one relic.
So Alexander knows about that relic. If he could just sneakily collect all the relics, you know, he doesn't even need to push his opponent.
I think that's that actually could be a pretty good win condition here. I don't know if we have enough time though, because the Trebs are coming in. They're gonna kill our last castle, and that is that's bad news. We don't have anything really else to defend us at that point.
You don't want to be out of castles. Hyder's saying that the collection animation for oysters was changed in a recent patch. He also says, considering how Banana has to move around with his CA, I'd probably add a couple of Dromons on the sides to make it awkward. Yeah, and Alexander has done that. The issue is that the Magyar Hussars come out and just eat the ships. I don't know if the Dromons are considered like a siege weapon, and so the Magyar Hussars deal bonus damage against them. But Banana Philosopher...
Yeah, I think... You know,
Go ahead.
I think Hyder's pretty much right. I think what we needed was Siege Ram, because the Scorpions will kill the CA fast, but we kind of need something to tank all these, like all of these Magyar arrow fires is going to kill pretty much everything we have, except for Siege Rams.
It's a lot of arrows. There's 7 + 5 attack, 4 + 4 range, so they have the recurve bow at this point. They're quite powerful in terms of damage output. And Alexander still trying to take down this castle. I guess he sent his halberdiers in to kill the repair villagers. Maybe he'll destroy the castle, but he's kind of lost the front of his base. He's lost town center, 2 castles of his own. I'm not convinced it was necessarily worth it.
Yeah, you kind of... I actually think, like, it wasn't a bad idea. I think we needed more trebuchets, though, right? We only had 1. So it was super slow. I think if we had 3 or 4, we kill it faster, and then maybe we just plant some Scorpions,
Yeah.
you know, in the middle or something, or we make the, you know, Banana Philosopher has to pull back the army. You know, you have to have a stronger response.
You know, in a way, Banana Philosopher may have helped Alexander a little bit by running in here and killing some villagers, because now Alexander is pop-capped with military instead of villagers.
Yeah.
The +1 range, Hyder explains, is very huge because it makes the cavalry archers more effective against the heavy scorpions. That's true. The heavy scorpions no longer outrange the cavalry archers. Their range is equal. Banana Philosopher's cavalry archer mass is evaporating. I don't know if he took his eyes off it or what the deal was, but he has to withdraw here. That was a pretty compelling push from him. But I do think that he took unnecessary damage after taking this position. Maybe he should have run away for a little while and regrouped, you know, built up his melee units again in front of the cavalry archers. And finally, the cavalry archers are coming here to pick off some scorpions. They're taking a little bit of damage from the ships, but not too much, I don't think.
Actually, now I'm thinking, I was going to say without all the castles, Alexander's, I think, pretty much done. But now we're going into Rams. We have a decent amount of Scorpions again. We actually still might have a shot. That is a lot of Trebs, though. 7 trebuchets for Banana Philosopher.
Yeah, let me uncheck the Fog of War so I can... Oh, yeah, Banana Philosopher. Preparing for another push here. Building up more cavalry archers. He's got 1 castle now. He actually lost a castle, so he can't make the Magyar Hussar as efficiently. Let's check out his resources. He's got a lot of food. I guess that's good. The good news is Magyar Hussars are created very quickly. But still, I would expect Alexander to throw down like 3 more siege workshops and just start pumping siege rams from him. I think that's his win condition, right? And he's just kind of dawdling on it. He's made Centurions. He's made... Well, okay, he's made Centurions. That's really the only thing. But the Centurions are pretty expensive. And I just don't know that they've given him good value. Oh,
Yeah, I
look at
agree with
these
you there.
legionaries on the left-hand side. They're going to come in and raid. They're going to raid Banana Philosopher. They might be
That
able
could
to
be decent, actually. They
dive a
might kill
town
some
center
stuff.
with this. Is this a town center killing army of legionaries? Probably not with this many cavalry archers in pursuit. Did Banana get Corvinian army? Let's check. I think he
Yeah, I
did.
think so.
I hope he did. It looks like, yeah, he did.
And I actually think at this point, because you only have one castle, we should probably just make Hussar. Like if we. So here's the thing: if Banana Philosopher just floods a bunch of Hussar to the back of Alexander's base, I don't see any way we can survive that, because we're gonna have like we can make or we have 7 stables, right? We can make 10, 11, 12, 15 even, and just spam Hussar to the back of the base.
Yeah, a back base raid could be pretty effective, and you can always get there because of these shallows. It's pretty hard to wall out. It's kind of interesting to me that Banana Philosopher is still taking gold. I think Alexander's almost run out. Actually, no, Alexander is stonewalling his gold in. Probably because he doesn't want Banana Philosopher running in here with Hussars disrupting his gold income. Neither player is really going after the oysters very much. Which I think Alexander could take those oysters. He could, because he has water control. He's the one that's invested in Navy.
So yeah, here's the Hussar. So the Hussar raids are about to come in, I think, and I think that will be good. That's really hard to play against with no castles to defend.
More stables for Banana Philosopher. Both players quietly rebuilding here, preparing for another fight. I see siege rams in Alexander's queue finally. This is exciting. I think this is going to be the game-ending unit here, these siege rams. I wish he were making them from more than 2 siege workshops. Yeah. He's got another siege workshop over here that could help out. Population at maximum. He's not even making them at all. He will, though. He will make them. So, Banana Philosopher coming in here with some cavalry archers and raiding the fishing ships. Alexander with very good foresight to stonewall this off, right? Because here comes... Oh, wait, nope. All right, Banana Philosopher not pushing this. Does Banana Philosopher not know that there's gold down there? No, he does not. He never scouted this. So he doesn't
that, yeah.
He doesn't know that there's gold there. So that's why he doesn't go there. And both players sniping each other's trebuchets or siege weapons and calling it a day, I guess.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of a... But this is the thing, the stalemate is still better for Banana Philosopher because we have better raiding units, and our opponent really does not.
Banana Philosopher will profit from a low gold situation more than Alexander would. He will do better in a low gold situation. Alright, the siege rams are being loaded up now.
Okay, I think this is going to be our big push.
This is going to be the push that decides the game, I think. If these siege rams run through and destroy the forward castle, the last castle of Banana Philosopher, then I think Alexander will have closed out the game.
So there's some really nice blocking for Banana Philosopher, like planting the CA to block the siege ram, but now we don't have a buffer. And, ooh, this looks really nasty.
Infantry hopping out of the rams, hopping in and out.
Oh, yeah, this is the last castle for Banana Philosopher. I didn't even realize.
Yep. Villagers coming to defend.
Are really good at just breaking down a bunch of production buildings.
They're like a giant bulldozer. The bulldozer of Age of Empires.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's gonna go down.
This castle's going down, boys.
Oh.
And I love how Hyder called this like 15, 20 minutes ago. At least Hyder's like, yeah. Oh yeah, all he needs are some siege rams to end the game here. can tell Hyder is definitely a Romans enjoyer, and I guess Alexander is a Romans enjoyer too because he did pick them. But I think those siege rams were exactly what Alexander needed, and I would love to see Alexander come forward with some villagers and be like, "Oh yeah, okay, I own this now. I totally destroyed a bunch of enemy buildings here." And he does have some villagers coming forward, but I think they're just gold miners. But he should totally be moving some buildings up, because siege rams are slow, right? It's going to take the siege rams forever to walk across the map. We can keep up this momentum.
We can honestly buy a castle. I wouldn't mind. Oh, I think we're about to do that. Okay, yeah, so just defensive, though. But
And, you know, with the loss of Banana Philosopher's final castle, he's not going to be able to take down these siege rams as easily. I mean, sure, siege rams are bad against any unit that does melee damage, but now Banana Philosopher doesn't have the ability to produce any unit that does bonus damage against the siege rams. So, you know, I think that Magyar Hussars could tear through these siege rams faster than traditional Hussars. See, look at how long this is taking these Hussars to tear down that siege ram. The siege rams do have a lot of health. Alright, we have a more forward castle from Alexander. Alexander has gotten this relic. And how many relics does he have now? Let's check his relic count. Alchemy
looks like 4 in the monastery, that is.
And he's got 1 in the monk. And then there's 1 more back here that he probably might be able to sneak, honestly. He might be able to nab it. Maybe not, though. But relic countdowns are always cool.
Alexander could also honestly consider a wonder. Like, even if it's not your win condition, it could put pressure on Banana Philosopher and make him play worse than he would otherwise.
That's true. Wonders, relics, they have a way of making your opponent panic because they have a limited time to do what they need to do. Crazy Joe saying, Hyder, I read that about 50 years ago the Italian government with its educational council was removing the dialects. Sicily used to have 4 dialects. Recently a streamer in Italy on a Swiss border said Paisan is a disgusting word. It means fellow countryman. Alright, so they're talking about internal Italian politics. I guess Crazy Joe has, I think Crazy Joe has a Sicilian background actually, but he lives in, he's from the States.
Sure.
So we got an elite centurion here to boost these legionaries. That could be pretty effective.
But you see, they're just not as threatening without siege.
Yeah, because Banana Philosopher can just kite them and kill them. I mean,
they fight pretty well, but yeah, I mean, they don't kill buildings as quickly. They're still pretty nasty. I mean, if the CA aren't moved back, they do die pretty fast.
But I would like to see like 3 or 4 siege rams rolling forward with these legionaries. He's getting finally some decent kills in here. I guess the Banana Philosopher pulls back. Hyder confirming Crazy Joe's concern. He says there has been a push in education to get rid of regional languages. The very fact that we call them dialect when most linguists don't consider them as such is a consequence of that. All right, another castle coming down or in foundation in place for Alexander. It's on this gold. Alexander sending some builders forward. Maybe he'll build some more forward siege workshops too, but Alexander doesn't really like siege. Like, the siege rams worked so well, why not build some more?
It really does feel like, oh, okay. Like I don't know, like it's like a meme format for a Roman meme. Like, we're just streaming legionaries forward. I don't know if you saw this, but
yeah,
it was like 10, 12 barracks is just streaming the legionaries forward.
The legionaries are pretty good, and Banana Philosopher finally calling the GG. Kind of reads the writing on the wall. If we go and check Banana Philosopher's resources, he's probably pretty low on resources. He does have 5,000 food, but he's out of gold. So, pretty tough slog there. Banana Philosopher had some good ideas about early aggression, but Alexander was able to hold on. I think Banana Philosopher made the critical mistake of investing more into Castle Age when his opponent had secure stone and was able to build lots of defensive castles. I think that's what cost Banana Philosopher this game. I could be... Biscuits may disagree with my analysis. What do you think, Biscuits?
I think you're generally right. Like, so Alexander had a really good defensive position. We put down the defensive castle, and that kind of stopped the push. So at that point, Banana Philosopher needed to pivot to imp faster, I think, right? And then you could get a much better imp time, and then with, like, you know, I don't know. If you had 2 minutes faster than your opponent, you can kill one castle before they're even up to imp, and then maybe it's a different story. And it's kind of like, in this kind of map layout, long term, it's going to favor the Roman composition better, right? It's very choke pointy. You can't really use the mobility as well. And then we never took back the water. I actually think that could have been another avenue later on. Like just a couple of fires, couple of hulks, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you contest the navy, then Alexander has to put more pop into navy. And then, you know, we have more villagers that aren't able to mine freely. But, you know, hard to say. Alexander had a good defense. So.
T. Blecko says, I discussed with Alexander post-game. He said if I went Paladins plus CA, it would be better. That would solve production issues with Magyar Hussars. Aha! So you are Banana Philosopher. Okay. Got it. So we got Banana Philosopher in chat.
I think the Magyar Hussars were great, but then when we were down to like one castle, I think we should just make out of the stables. It's just too slow to replenish units.
So, Alexander, I'm looking at the statistics here. Banana Philosopher actually with more units killed than Alexander. Alexander with more buildings raised, owing to the siege rams. They both converted 4 units. They both had similarly sized largest armies of in the low 90s. Alexander with more food and wood collected. Banana Philosopher with more stone. Alexander with more gold collected. Yeah, Alexander's a really nice guy. He'll tell you that kind of stuff. Paladin plus CA is very costly, though, says Hyder. It was a very good game. Alexander explored 98% of the map. Wow. Research count 46. Alexander with 6 total castles. Banana Philosopher only had 4 at his peak. And Alexander captured 4 relics. He had 3,600 relic gold. So I think that may have helped him out a lot too, paying for all of those centurions.
Yeah, the relics were nice. And there was a lot of gold on that map, so it helped just spamming out gold units.
Banana Philosopher saying, this is the reason why I always push in early amp. I trust myself to make opposite of good late game compositions. Always choose the most challenging late game composition. All right, let's check out their second game here. Spanish versus Gurjaras. Banana Philosopher versus Alexander. Let's get into the replay here. All right, I'm on 0 seconds and ready whenever you are.
All right, I'm ready to go.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, we got a nomad start, everybody. A nomad start. So we have a Spanish invasion of Gurjara. What is that? Western India? Or the Gurjarans are invading Spain. I don't know which one is weirder, to tell you the truth. But we could probably, reading from the map and the palm trees, we could probably infer that the Spaniards are the aggressors this time. And Banana Philosopher building his town center right in the middle of the map here. Right on this cliff. This is kind of a weird town center spot. And Alexander's building right next to him. Oh,
yeah, they're pretty close, actually. I don't know if they'll spot that.
This is going to be long as well. I don't think this is going to be a long game at all. Alexander's saying maybe. Does Alexander... Yeah, because Alexander sees this, so he knows. He knows that his opponent's right next to him, so he knows that it may not be very long at all. And Banana Philosopher does not know where Alexander is, so that's actually a big deal. Although, Banana Philosopher will figure it out pretty soon. So Alexander knows that his opponent is nearby. If you're Alexander, you come out here and you, like, take these deer. Let's see what Alexander can see, actually. How can Alexander screw over his opponent as quickly as possible? Okay, so he doesn't know about the deer or the geese over here yet. And actually, Banana Philosopher is going to find these geese first, which is good. Now these, we got some monkeys, but they're not really monkeys. They're apes. They're not monkeys because they don't have tails, but the game still calls them monkeys. So just FYI. It's just an old Age of Conquerors thing, or Age of Kings thing.
This is an interesting setup, especially with these civs. This is a very strange configuration. I would say you want to open archers. Like, there's not really a lot you can wall in. I actually wouldn't mind scouts either, honestly. Like, I mean, basically the only thing safe that both players have is their wood line and any deer sheep they bring to their TC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you would think that somebody would have wanted to build their town center like right here or something, or right here, you know, on some minerals and a wood line, but nobody did that. They both built their town centers on wood lines, and I guess that's it. That's the only secured resource they needed to have. Now, the elevation is a little bit tricky on the map, but even still, I don't know. I don't really get the town center placements, to tell you the truth. Maybe it's just kind of they just wanted to build them as fast as possible so they could get on with the game.
It usually looks I actually understand the feeling. It usually looks kind of silly when your nomad placement, because it's a mixture of you want to build it where your two villagers can build it at the same time. Oh wait, sorry, I'm interrupting myself, but do you see Banana Philosopher's about to build a mill on the same forge that Alexander already has? Oh no, we canceled it. Okay. But the outpost is actually really nice because we can see what our opponent is up to.
Yeah, so he's going to go back to this safer mill instead. But actually, he still doesn't know. So he didn't cancel it because of Alexander. He just canceled it because he's like, I found a better one over here. All right, here's a wild boar with 236 food, so it's a little bit scrawny. Hider in chat saying, well, I'll be damned. I learned the difference between a monkey and ape from an AoE stream. Yeah, who would have thought? For all you non-native English speakers out there, I will teach you the English words. Alexander pushing a deer in with a villager. I don't know where that villager was or what it was doing. Maybe he sent it there because he just needed the food. Banana Philosopher bringing in this board. I like Banana Philosopher's position a little bit better so far. It seems like he has better access to food than Alexander does. Alexander not taking his geese. He's garrisoned them in the mill instead. But he just has these... Okay, he's got six farm animals. 5 geese and a pig, apparently. Just whatever he's been finding. Banana Philosopher's going to see this house now. Only teach the nice words. Of course, of course.
This is like this. The Gajar bonus here is going to play out long term. In the early part, like right now, it makes your build kind of tight because you're not going to have as much food right away. But I think it should still be fine for a feudal age timing. But I don't know what the players are going to do. They might still fast castle.
Yeah, Alexander is actually going to mill these deer. There's 3 deer left, but he wants to mill them. His food income is like you said, it's pretty rough. Let's see what Banana Philosopher's food income looks like. That's a little bit better. Neither one has much food in the bank, but Banana Philosopher with more villagers in queue. And I don't know, is this like a Tower Rush kind of map? What do you think?
I mean, yeah, I'm looking around. It actually might be a scout kind of map now that I'm looking at it, because like there's just so much open space. There's really not a lot you can wall in. Or archers too. I wouldn't mind scout or archers, to be honest. I would be fine with either.
Okay, so
you know, for
ahead.
The Spanish, right? They don't get crossbow, so it makes, in some ways, it makes more sense for them to go for scouts. But if you go heavy archer in feudal age, it can be good if you push your opponent onto skirms, because then you could just go knights, which is fine for you.
Yeah, if you think that you probably just really like scouts. These players are so close together. You could go man-at-arms and towers. I think that would be a lot of fun. You could go archers.
True.
I mean, scouts might not be bad if you want to go and pick off like villagers that are wandering far away from the town center, looking for resources. But very often on these nomads, you don't really want to do a tower rush because it's easier to fast castle, given the nomad build. And when an opponent fast castles and you've got, you're heavily invested in towers and you've got like 6 towers scattered across your opponent's base, then they just drop a castle on the most critical towers, and then you're down in age and your offensive has been pushed away. So that's why tower rushes don't really work on nomad very often, unless there's some, very powerful circumstance, like you're right next to your opponent, or there's very clear resources that you can deny, and other secondary resources are much further away.
They can also be good if there's water, because it's a really minimal land investment when you also want to go navy. But here, it's less useful, I would say, on a land nomad.
Yeah, and that's another point, too, about the water, is that on nomad, people tend to have lots of fishing ships, and they tend to have lots of very good food income, and so they can afford Castle Age quite nicely on a traditional nomad map. Now, this is land nomad, and there is no fishing, so therefore you're not getting that food income from fishing ships. And Banana Philosopher, seeing Alexander build a wall here, I guess he's going to build a wall of his own. He is going to go into Conquistadors, I think. Look at Banana Philosopher, he's got 2 on stone right now. If he were tower rushing, he would be sending villagers forward, and he would have 3 or 4 on stone at this time. So, Banana Philosopher desiring the Conquistadors. It's very meta, but it's meta for a reason. It's a good play. And he knows that he could potentially get a good upset here. If he can beat Alexander, he could really get some good points in our league system.
Here's something interesting, though. So the Conquistadors, it's typically what you play around as the Spanish, but there's the Gujaras have one really good tool, which is their Shirvamsha Rider. So they're a fast cavalry unit that has a dodge, and because the Conquistador shoots slowly, like with a single range thing, I think it's really bad against the Shirvamshas. So
really? So the Shirvamshas can dodge bullets. That's, I mean, arrows. Yeah. Okay, but come on, bullets.
Yeah, who knew? I don't know what the in-lore reason is. That's just what they do.
Can somebody in chat explain how the Shirvamshas train to dodge bullets? Maybe there's a good lore explanation that Biscuits and I don't really know, but regardless of how they're able to do it. Oh, wait a second. Look at this. We got a stable here. So I don't really understand the stable from Banana Philosopher. I thought that he was interested in Conquistadors because he's got 3 on stone right now. Maybe he's going to throw down a stable. Maybe he's just building a scout real quick to scout out his opponent's base. It seems like Alexander is kind of done walling on this side, but he hasn't really walled anywhere else. Hyder was just saying, actually, he prefers archers on this map. They're from the Matrix. Oh, the Matrix, right. Banana Philosopher finding this town center. Okay, he is... Oh, he dies.
Oh.
He died. Alright, well, that's...
I'm trying to see... What did we see for blue? We didn't really see that much, so... We didn't really gain that much intel from that.
No, it didn't bring him good value. He invested in that scout. He had to build a barracks to make that scout, and then a stable, when he could have just built a blacksmith. And now he's building a market, Banana Philosopher is, and he's going to sell some wood probably, maybe a little bit of food to click up, because he's not on gold yet. Wait, does Banana... Yeah, Banana Philosopher knows about this gold, so he could come out here and take the gold, but he's going to sell some food and some wood and click up. And,
I'm looking at this now. Actually, this could be... Okay. So I have 2 thoughts. These archers are going to go around. They do have fletching, so they can do a lot. But Banana Philosopher could actually just drop a castle in Alexander's face. Because there's, like, no military, right? I mean, we have a couple of archers. I don't think that's enough. Like, 4 feudal age archers I don't think is enough.
And Banana Philosopher spots these archers, and he forces down a tower. I almost would have forgotten about the tower. You know, the scout does make a lot of sense because you don't want to drop a castle on like some worthless piece of land. You want to know what your opponent has and where. And Banana Philosopher did find this gold with his scout, and he knew that his opponent was taking gold there, so he could build a castle probably right up against this mill. That's what I would do. And these archers are encouraging him to build more castles, or sorry, more scouts. But he doesn't really have the food for it because he doesn't have a lot of farms. He only has 3 completed farms and 1 farm that's dead. So I don't think that Banana Philosopher will go this way. I wouldn't go this way. He could delete this wall segment and walk up here and just drop a castle right here. I would delete this house and walk around and build the castle right here up against the mill. But, you know, he really kind of needs to send the villagers forward for that. Okay. But it's a little risky. It's only 6 Spanish villagers. I think he needs to send 3 more.
Yeah, I think you should send more, honestly.
I know that they're Spanish. Nah, this castle is not aggressive enough. This castle needs to be right up here.
Okay, but does Alexander... Like, Alexander could stop this, but we need the military in place. I don't know if it's gonna be there in time. Bring an archer over.
Banana Philosopher should snag his scout cavalry to come over here and help out. Every little bit helps. But yeah, I would either that or delete the market and delete the palisade and just rush the entire town forward because it's a convenient path. And just plant that castle right on all of your opponent's eco.
Okay, so we're good. But here's the thing. Again, like we can get this castle up, but Alexander can then make Shravamsha riders, which are a really good answer.
Yeah, and Alexander just reached castle age, so we might see that that stable come down. He's getting bloodlines. He's making camels, actually. He's not making Shravamshas.
I mean, camels are okay. You do need to get husbandry, so you make sure they can catch up.
So Banana Philosopher building a town center on this gold, which is smart. This will give him more opportunity for farms as well. And he's actually going to take these berries. That's kind of funny.
That is funny.
Yeah, the castle did go up. Alexander's in a little bit of a pickle here. He can't build farms around his town center. I guess he could build a few farms back here. But I would like to see Banana Philosopher start making conquistadors right now. Like, there are no villagers near this town center. They can't garrison in the town center. Conquistadors could just run right through here and pick off some villagers. But Banana Philosopher wasn't able to get good intelligence on what his opponent is doing. So this conquistador could probably do a lot of damage on this castle. But he has to know that it exists. And he doesn't. Okay, now he sees that his opponent's building a castle here. Camels pop out, chase away this scout. Oh, I see what this is. This mill is a prize because it has all of these herdables in it. So yeah, Banana Philosopher's shanking down the... No, get out of here, Banana. Get out of here. Grab the... The castle is actually killing the geese, which is kind of a little bit funny. Well, I guess in that way, Banana Philosopher won't be able to get them. And Banana Philosopher building a monastery. And I guess he's going to go onto the stone, maybe? Yeah, he's going to go onto the stone. He's probably going to build another castle that ranges these villagers on gold. He's playing very aggressively.
So I think we needed Siege Workshop from Banana Philosopher here. Well, okay. It's kind of a similar situation. Either we go for a bunch of rams, or we go for imp. Our eco looks really bad right now, so I think we want to go for rams, personally.
Alexander is holding on. He's very dependent on this gold here. He's got 19 on gold. So a castle in this location could be quite devastating. Let's see Alexander's food, though. I guess Alexander has good resources. Maybe he's planning on clicking up to the Imperial Age. Wait, how can that be? He's about to lose his town center. And does Alexander even have a town center right now? He's got villagers scattered across the map, actually. But
it looks like no center right now.
I'm enjoying watching Banana Philosopher do this. But I don't know. Alexander may still survive here. Yeah, look, here's a Sharamsha dodging the bullets.
Yeah.
Very
That's
powerful.
the thing. They don't have a lot of attack, But when you think about how slowly a conquistador fires, it's a pretty big deal to just completely dodge that.
And Banana Philosopher saying it was this moment I learned that Sharamsha can dodge bullets. Yeah, it's not very
Yeah.
intuitive, but they can't dodge seductive words.
That's
So
true. Monks will work, yeah.
yes, monks will work.
I really like Alexander's random villagers on the right side. Like, I think those have done a lot of work
Mm-hmm.
to save, like, just random food and whatever. Now we have a town center.
Yep. He just built a town center. So he could totally just boom back here while Banana Philosopher pressures him. But it will take him a little bit of time to get things set up. Okay, he's building another town center on this stone here. Banana Philosopher hasn't really been able to get behind here. Alexander's done a decent job of walling off the back and this. Banana Philosopher needs to build that castle. He's got the stone for it, but he's not building it. Okay, the monk gets a conversion on the Sharamsha and goes down. Sharamsha, if he converts enough Sharamshas, they might be effective at raiding the gold.
Yeah. I guess we could just build a castle to deny the gold for Alexander. I mean, I guess that's fine. I mean, that could be pretty useful. Or we could castle the new TC.
If he knows about it. I don't think he knows about it. He doesn't know about
I guess
it.
we haven't seen it yet.
He's building it on the right-hand side, so it's a defensive castle. Uh-oh, quick wall, quick wall, quick wall.
Oh.
It's a raiding party. All right, neither player spotted it.
We may have. They both missed it.
Okay, Alexander coming back for it.
Oh, we came back, okay. Yeah.
He saw it now. And that is very unfortunate for Banana Philosopher. I feel like the castle, an aggressive castle, would have brought better value to Banana. Actually, Banana Philosopher not seeing this at all. This is a disaster. He does have one villager on the other side that's continuing to build this castle that Alexander did not see. And a lot of villagers dying in this raid.
Oh, that's a lot.
I'm not sure.
We were microing our conks over there.
Oh,
engagement. It's a perfect time for Alexander to raid.
It was a good time for Alexander to do the raiding thing. No, GG, says Banana Philosopher. Yeah, that was a very unfortunate raid.
This is kind of what I was worried about. The Sharamshas are a great answer for the Conquistador.
Yeah, well played from Alexander to defend. I can't really find too many mistakes of Banana Philosopher here.
I think probably what I would say is... I think the second town center is a bit of a mistake because you're putting more investment into your eco and less into your push. I think what you probably want is you make a bunch of monks. That's kind of the only thing you can have to deal with the Sharamshas straight away. And then, like, maybe you get a castle up on this new town center, right? And or maybe you can, if you have a siege workshop, you can ram down the stable. Alexander has to make a new one. I think we kind of just took our foot off the gas a little too much is what I would say. I really like the castle was really nice placement, the first one. It stopped the food production, but I think we needed more aggression, pretty much.
I agree. He kind of took his foot off the gas, and that gave Alexander the opportunity to come in and raid and deal a game-ending raid. Whether or not it was like it was initially a few conks and transitioned into like a fast imp monk treb, whether or not it transitioned into a ram push, whether or not it transitioned into a second castle drop. He had options, but he didn't really pursue any of them. He kind of slowly simmered a boom and then tried building a defensive castle here, and that gave Alexander a little bit of breathing room to come out with his counter unit that's also fantastic at raiding.
Yeah, it's something interesting. So something you could do. You can make the castle, maybe still make 2 conquistadors, right? Just for like raiding. Then you just go full monks, like full monks siege workshop. And that could be really nasty. You can get Inquisition. Inquisition monks are really dangerous.
Yeah, and if you have, just a few conquistadors, they'll mow through scouts pretty effectively. You don't need more than, 3 conks or so to just kill any counter scouts that an opponent would make to kill your monks. So he definitely had some options here. Hyder says if you get around 7 to 8 conks, you can start mowing down Sharamshvas, though. They are paper units once you get through the dodge gimmick. That's true.
True.
So that was a fun game. Let's check out the statistics for it. Um, Alexander with 26 kills and 6 deaths. That's pretty massive there, considering that most of those were probably villagers. Um, Maybe 2/3 of them. Banana Philosopher with 4 buildings razed, 2 lost, 1 conversion. Alexander with largest army of 12. But Alexander had more wood and food collected. Banana Philosopher with more stone collected. And I think he sold a lot of that stone for gold. Alexander with more gold collected. Technology, Alexander first to feudal age. Banana Philosopher first to castle age. Banana Philosopher actually had more map knowledge, but Alexander had more research. Banana Philosopher 123 relic gold, villager high of 45. So his aggression, I think, definitely did something. It showed in the villager count here. It was just that raid. That raid really ended it.
There's a rate, and I think also Alexander's. I mean, this is a tricky thing on Nomad, right? I don't know. I would think like Alexander had the vills on the side collecting resources completely unscathed. I don't think I would have thought to hunt those down, but that helped a lot in the defense.
That's risky. It depends on, if your opponent happens to go out there and see something. Maybe your opponent
Yeah.
goes to take the same resources and then they see it and they're like, oh, shoot, my opponent's here taking resources. Better shut that down. Hey, Cookie Pirate, welcome. All right.
Welcome in.
So I'm back at the replay stage. Are you good to continue or do you want to take a quick break?
I need to grab some water real quick, I think.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in what 3 to 5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And I'll go back to the league screen share screen, and when we get back, we'll go over the draft for Kitsa and Jaguar Warrior, and then we'll get into it. So we'll be right back, guys. Thanks. Don't go anywhere.
I'm back.
All right, everybody, I am back. Crazy Joe says he's not going anywhere. He has chocolate cake and coffee. Wow, that is a match made in heaven. Cookie
Good.
Pyre agrees. He says that sounds awesome. Biscuits is here. Excellent.
Yeah.
We are doing a cast from Alchemy League Season 9, Sprint 3. We just showcased Alexander versus Banana Philosopher. And now it's time to present some games from Kitza and Jag Warrior. So, we talked about the players at the start of the stream. This is their draft. Khmer, Bulgarian, Mayans, Chinese, and Britons were randomly globally banned. And then they banned Mongols, Persians, Malay, and Saracens. And Kitza sniped Koreans from Jag Warrior. And Jag Warrior sniped Byzantines from Kitza, leaving Kitza with Bengalis, Vietnamese, Hindustanis, Turks, and Malayans, while Jag Warrior has Italians, Berbers, Lithuanians, Portuguese, and Dravidians. So, thoughts about the draft, Biscuits?
It's an interesting spread. So I actually mentioned Italians before because I really like them. They're very flexible. So I think it's a really nice first pick. Lithuanians can be nice with starting the extra food, right? You never know what your food's going to be like. Portuguese are pretty flexible too. That's nice. The Turks is an interesting pick. So something we saw on the previous map, there's a ton of gold sometimes in some of these generations, right? And Turks are really good with gold. They suck pretty bad when they don't have any gold. But that's something interesting. I wonder if that's why Kita picked them. Because they can be so nice when you just have tons of gold. And the rest, I mean, they're pretty reasonable picks here, I'd say. Byzantines strikes me as a bit of a strange first pick, personally. I just don't think they benefit that well from the hyper-random setting. I actually think they used to be quite good in hybrid, but now with the Hulks, they don't do as well because they only have a bonus to fire ships and not Hulks.
Yeah, these are some good observations. I would say I completely understand picking Byzantines as the first civilization because they are the best, but I might just be biased.
Well, they are flexible. I'll give you that. So, I mean, that, like, if you look at that, that is a good reason to pick a civ in hyper-random.
All right, so Biscuits has given us a rundown of the civilizations. Let's get into the games, shall we?
So which one, you got to tell me which one is first.
Yeah, that's true. There are three different choices here. Let's do the Berbers. Well, hold on. Let's do Italians versus Vietnamese first.
Italians versus Vietnamese. Okay.
I got a cat that just came in and he likes to visit me while I do casting. So, all right, Vietnamese versus Italians. Let's load the replay. I don't know how my spectator does with capture age. I still have to test that out. All right, so I'm at 3 seconds and I am ready whenever you are.
Let's give me a moment here. 3 seconds. 1, 2. All right. Good to go.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. So we have Jag Warrior playing as the green Italians, and we have Kitza playing as the red Vietnamese. I think Jag Warrior is going to be pretty happy to see this map as Italians, right? Look at all the water here. There's like a big lake, but there's an island in the center of that lake that has some extra gold, stone, berries, and even some chickens on it. So not a ton of fish, but still enough for a dock to be worth it. Mm-hmm. And it almost looks like a variation of Crater Lake or Baltic. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, there's not a ton of fish, but the water is like going to be really important for map control. So if you ever seen the map Mediterranean, it's sort of similar that there's a central lake that dominates most of the gameplay. However, there's a lot more space on the edge. Like here, because of these big wood lines, your navy's gonna range like a lot of the map, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you lose water, it's gonna be really important to pivot early. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye out for this, right? If you start to lose water, it's gonna be really important that you just send a villager forward early to get, do whatever you want to do. Either to build a stable or archery range, or, for siege workshop, monastery, whatever you're gonna do. Because the navy is just gonna hit everything. Like there's just so
Mm-hmm.
little space that's not covered by the water here.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think this is going to be just one big water slug, and they're gonna slog it out on water, and whoever wins water is gonna win the game here. Because even if you have a nice farming eco set up in this corner or something like that, the wood lines are so huge, and they're pushing players closer to the center of the map that like failing to control water means that you might not even be able to, even if you have total land control and your opponent has nothing but navy, how can you really slip through here, right? And your opponent could stonewall this off, and you even try to get close with siege weapons, and your opponent's navy comes in here and interferes with it. It's all about the navy um, on this particular map. I don't really see any alternative.
And yeah, I mean, it's even if you try to forward your opponent, I don't even know where you put that building. That wouldn't get hit by the navy. So yeah, we'll see. I have a feeling what will probably happen is we're gonna fight for navy and feudal. Someone's gonna get an advantage, and then the castle age timing will make a big difference. Because if we're both fighting water in castle age, then that could be interesting. Because then we're both fighting for water, and we might think about either adding TCs or like a siege workshop or something. And then it gets really hard to fight for the navy when you also have to fight on land.
Now, did you ever think that you would see a Vietnamese Eagle Scout running around an Age of Empires map?
No, that's news to me. I
Um,
haven't seen that before.
there's probably been some map that did it. Maybe somebody played Vietnamese in Alchemy League Season 4 where the Eagle Scout was the standard, even for non-Mesoamerican civilizations. But yeah, the Eagle Scout is a pretty unique touch here. Well-tested scout, right? We know that the Eagle Scout isn't too overpowered, but it does have the ability to kill villagers more effectively in Dark Age, so that's something that you need to be careful about. Let's see if we can predict what their builds are going to be. I mean, we both know they're going to do a fast feudal into water. Keats is already on his way up to the feudal age. He is on, let's check his population. He's on 24 pop, and he's advancing to the feudal age. Jag Warrior has not clicked up yet. Jag Warrior is at 28 population. I think 28 population not clicking up to the feudal age yet, that's kind of playing with fire on a map like this. You know that your opponent's going to go fast feudal. They're going to try to get the hulks out as quickly as possible. What do you think Jaguar could be doing? Do you think he's doing a fast castle instead? Fast
I
castle into
think
water?
No, I don't want to disrespect Jack. I think it might just be a mistake.
Oh, okay.
It can be in these hyper random maps. It can be you really have to scout for your food. Like so, we see how like Jag's boar here has not been taken. That's 440 food on the table that
Oh,
we didn't pull. Oh, okay, we're dropping a barracks though, so maybe we are gonna go scouts or something. I don't see a forward villager, so I'm not sure what the plan is.
yeah. He knows about that boar too. But the barracks is an interesting choice. It would suggest land unit aggression. And he's on gold. So I think he's going archer. Well, no. I mean, he built a barracks. He's got to be interested in archers, right? But on the other hand, the gold could be useful for ships. So Jaguar's really got us guessing here. I don't know what it is from him.
Not sure. We definitely want a second dock if we're gonna fight for the water, but when you're up late, it's a pretty big deal. You're just so far behind in army production.
Keats is building a gate here. Keats is already walled on this side. I just am skeptical that like archers or anything could get in. Oh, here's a Hulk throwing some grappling hooks at this Eagle Scout. Keatsa microing it around to try to get an advantage here. All the Jag Warrior wanted to do was build this dock, but Keatsa denying it. Fishing ships garrisoning in the dock. Does the dock fire arrows?
It does, but it has a minimum range. So right now the hulks are in the minimum range.
Oh, that's right. We went through this on a previous stream. So that's part of the reason why the hulks are so overpowered then. Why give the dock a minimum range anyway? I mean, it seems like a very obvious exploit. Even if somebody made galleys, they just get right up next to the dock and fire. Like, why does the dock have to have a minimum range? Maybe you can explain that better to me than
I don't know.
Others
I
have.
mean, so there's like a we don't have the there's like a whole discussion to the new water changes. But so generally being able to garrison your fish is a really big deal already because normally they're super exposed and that's like the trade-off, right? And then shooting arrows is also so basically those both things together is a huge bonus to defensive play, which is probably something they wanted to mitigate a little bit with the minimum range, right? They wanted to make it so here, like, see how Keatsa can at least force down this dock. Because otherwise, you know, it would be too easy for Jag to just go fast castle and just have a superior navy. I think that's the idea. I don't know for sure, right? I'm not sure what the devs' vision was with the new naval change, but I think it's to mitigate a little. Like, it's already a really big defensive boost, but I think they're thinking, well, at least, you know, with melee units you can get in range or get in minimum range.
That's true, but you know, if hulks are really so overpowered right now, you could nerf the hulks and the fire ships by reducing both the minimum range and the maximum range by 1, so that it was actually galleys that benefited from the dock's range instead of hulks. That could leave hulks better for outside of ranged operations of those town centers, and that dock has actually been destroyed. Jag Warrior has to build a new one. Because there is a galley here. The hulks are all the craze now, guys.
It looks pretty good for Keatsa now. But that being said, we still haven't killed the fish, right? We still have 5 fishing ships. And we haven't added anything of our own, so... You know, we haven't, like... It's not a killing blow, if you know what I mean, right? Like, this is a good position for Keatsa, but Jag isn't dead here.
No, Jag has managed to stay alive, actually. Kept his fishing ships alive, which is quite impressive. He's coming around now. So, did we ever figure out what this barracks was for Jag Warrior?
No.
He didn't make anything from it.
I don't know. I don't know what that's for. Maybe it's for the future. I'm not sure.
Hyder says, not much to discuss in my humble opinion. New water just sucks. What? Hyder, you don't like the new water?
I generally agree, but there are some interesting things, like the fact that hulks are really slow at killing buildings and fires kill them a lot faster. But one thing to mention, like in a hybrid map, it used to be all fires and now it's basically all hulks, right? So that's kind of, nothing has changed really from that, except for you can garrison your fish, which is good for the defensive player.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear why Hyder thinks the new water sucks. I think they have some good ideas, but sometimes when you have a very broken unit, it can detract from the good ideas that you have. I actually think the best idea, and I've said this before on stream, and people can maybe say that, you know, and rightfully argue that it's too complex, but in the Middle Ages, basically Navy consisted of them getting on ships and just shooting whatever they had, whatever they brought with them. And there were a lot of boarding ships. I think that it would be cool if you could, if the properties of your ship depended on the type of land unit that was loaded onto it. So you load archers onto a ship, you make a galley. You load melee units onto a ship, you make some kind of boarding ship. With exception of maybe fire ships or something like that. But that might be way too complex for the developers. But at the very least, I think they owe the hulks a nerf. And that might make some of the other changes a little bit more bearable for Hyder. Hyder just absolutely hates it. Hyder, we want you to explain why.
I appreciate you let your opinion known, though, you know? You don't hide anything.
Yeah, he's not afraid. Hyder, with an attitude like that, you got to suck up to the devs a little bit more. You got to say, "Oh, everything's great." If you ever want to host a tournament, Hyder, you got to make sure that you say that the devs can do no wrong. Maybe Hyder doesn't care about hosting tournaments. He just wants to speak the truth, which in that case he came to the right place because that's what we do here. But there are some places that, you get your funding from Microsoft, and, whenever they release new civs or whenever they make a big patch, you always have to support it because you're kind of an employee of the company, so it's only fair. Maybe not a direct employee, but like a subcontractor, if you will, the kind that specializes in content creation, which is not, in Microsoft's, that's not their business. Cookie Pirate says blasphemy.
But I just saw Jag actually he might still be okay, but he just lost a bunch of Navy before the upgrade came in, which was pretty brutal there.
Hyder says, I don't want to write a wall of text, so I'll just say it dumbly promotes FC and they tried to recreate land combat. I would agree with that.
I think everyone agrees with that. It's a little too good defensively.
I don't know. It's really hard to. I'd have to sit through. I can't do it on stream, but I have to sit through, and maybe one of the fun things that we'll discuss in the Discord is like what to do with water. And there was a guy who I met in the Random Map Scripting Discord before they banned me called Death Counter, and he had a water mod of its own. Maybe you guys know about Death Counter's water mod, where he did a lot of this stuff, but I think he did it a little bit better. And I'd have to dust off my notes of what he did. But the community definitely has some really good ideas here, and maybe they incorporated only the bad parts of it. I'm not sure. But it'd be a good discussion to have in the Discord later when I have more of a chance to think about it. But I think Biscuits and I do agree that FC is a little bit easier with the water now. Although to be fair, they did make fishing ships a little bit weaker. But at least they're trying something, right?
They did make them weaker. So the way that I know now I'm trying to like give something useful here for the Jag. So the benefit here as well that Kita got from sort of winning the water is that our eco is a bit better set up, and now we have a bunch of knights that are causing havoc for Jag. We're gonna get some monks out, so it'll be okay. But this is leaving Jag behind economically speaking.
So Cookie Pirate says, I haven't played the game in forever, so I haven't experienced water action. And not many casts I've seen actually have much water anyway. Well, this cast is going to be different because there's a lot of water involvement here. I think that Kitsa has triumphed on water, although Jag is still taking with most of his fish. He's got 4 on fish still. So he hasn't completely won, but it doesn't look like Jag is investing more in water. He might be able to. Maybe he's going like monk shore conversions, like monks.
The monks actually
converting the hulks. Maybe can get a conversion on the fire ship here. He jumps into his dock to hide. I definitely think there's an argument against, for garrisoning fishing ships, just because you can garrison villagers, right? And being able to garrison villagers prevents the snowball. And this Hulk winning with the help of the dock here. One of the things that Age of Empires doesn't really do that great is it doesn't really incorporate, and I know this is hard because the game was originally made in 1999, but you don't really incorporate wind direction and storms and sheltered coves and all that stuff. That was all a big deal. You could almost make an argument that more ships went down in the Middle Ages due to nature than due to combat against your enemy. So it would have been cool if they had been able to figure out how to incorporate something like that. And maybe they still will. But then there are all these hardliners like Hyder that say, oh, you messed it up. Which maybe they did kind of mess it up a little bit. It can be tricky to experiment with when you have something that works. Why risk changing it? Look at that monk gets the conversion here. Jag Warrior with a lot of profit from these monks. Both of them recharging their faith currently.
Yeah, no navy for Kita now. Just 2 fires. So Jag could take the water back completely. If we wanted to.
Maybe Jag lands this island in the middle and builds a couple monasteries and then just converts. Because basically, with block printing, you could pretty much range every... Well, not quite, but you could you could control a lot of the water with that. So, Jag has managed to pick up 1 relic with the monks. How many relics are there total? Oh, look at this. Jag building some siege workshops on the side. I love this.
Okay.
This is pretty spicy. So, Jag, I don't know, get in here with a couple of rams. What's the deal? What does Kitza want to do? It's like Kitza's gotten a relic of his own. And Kitza's making some stables. And I guess he's built some stables, and he's got some light cav. I feel like Jag Warrior should try to wall this. Like,
Yeah,
would it really kill you to build like 4 stone walls here just to completely prevent the possibility of your opponent coming in this way unless he invested in a transport ship first?
Yeah, Jag Warrior walling off the side here would have helped a lot, because then you wouldn't have to deal with these random cav units flooding in.
He's attempting the quick walls here, but there's a farm in the way. His opponent doesn't go for the farm. Alright, now you delete this wall segment, or this house, and wall these knights in. Oh, he's going to repair the gate instead. Can he trap the knights? I thought that's where he was going, but no, it's just a random berry picker.
Oh, it's a forager, yeah. This has gotten quite frantic already, but Keats is up to Imp, so I think Keats is still heavily favored here. There could be something happening with Jag's siege push, though.
He's got a ball of crossbows, he's got some monks, he's got a couple rams rolling forward. He might be able to do some damage here. And Keats' stone is primarily in this location too, so unlike a previous game with Banana Philosopher, where Banana Philosopher had a military presence on his enemy's gold and denied his enemy's gold, in this case, Jag Warrior could deny his opponent's stone, and that could make defending much harder. Keats building a siege workshop, which is a good idea. And Jag Warrior actually has enough stone to build like 3 castles, or at least 2 castles. Keats has no stone.
So, you know, something kind of devastating. I think Jaguar is going to run out of gold. Like, the only gold we can go to is on the shoreline now. It's a
good point. He might have to sell stone for gold. Maybe that's why he's stockpiling so much stone. And these crossbowmen are coming in. They are preventing the villagers from essentially shanking down the rams. And this is a very, very compelling attack from Jag Warrior, actually. He's had to sacrifice a lot. He's still dealing with raids in the front of his base. It looks like there are 2 dead monks here. And there is a light cav picking off villagers, although he does have a few crossbows shooting at it. But it's basically do or die with this push for Jag Warrior. Kitza is almost Imperial Age. And so the timing for this really couldn't be better for Jag Warrior. This is exactly when he needs to hit his opponent. Kitza will probably... He's not invested in the armor, actually, for the knights. And these rams... Imagine if these rams had been here like a minute sooner, though. I guess that would have been pretty helpful. They could have potentially have destroyed the town center. The Mangonel clearing up the ships. But these crossbow can still wander around this base and kill some units. But it is unfortunate that Jag Warrior didn't destroy the town center.
Yeah, but he had a Mangonel on the back. If that Mangonel was forward, I think that TC dies. You know, the rest of the gold is in the center island, right? There's the gold in the center island, and then there's a patch of gold by Jag Warrior's coastline. We obviously cannot get to that. We can't get to either of those for Jag Warrior.
Yeah, Jag Warrior, let's see what he's got on gold. He's got 1 on gold somewhere. It's probably in his original gold back. No, not there. He's building a defensive castle to prevent his opponent from raiding him. I think this castle should, well, I don't know. It's hard to argue that the castle should be in Keats' base because Keats is Imperial Age. In theory, Keats could get chemistry and make bombard cannons.
I
So it's tough to
Well, I think it
justify.
needs to be on the coast, actually. I think it needs to be on the coast to defend this gold.
Mm-hmm.
And even though our opponents in Imperial Age, they don't have a lot of navy, actually. Like, he really doesn't have a lot of navy right now.
Yeah, I mean, chemistry would enable Kitsa to make bombard ships, siege ships, the cannon galleons, but it could at least give Jaguar an opportunity. I have big respect for the fact that Jaguar tried to play this without ships, but I think you just have to make ships here. There's just too much map to not go ships. And Jaguar had this really good crossbow and siege ram push, but
Yeah, you know,
eventually Kitsa overcame it.
There was like a few missing details, right? Like, if we had a repair villager to repair the rams, or like the mangonel was forward, or we also take back the water, right? At the same time, you know? Like, if you kill the docks, then Keats' Imperial Age doesn't mean anything. But now we have no gold, which is extremely bad, because you kind of need gold to kind of do anything on this map here.
Crazy Joe says, devs do what they are told to make more money. Microsoft's still mad that DE release made 5 million and Halo same time made 20 million. What? Halo made 4 times as much money as DE did when they were released around the same time. Biscuits, do you know anything about that?
I don't know. I don't know anything about the stats. I cannot say.
Did you buy Halo and DE or just DE?
Just DE, but I didn't get it on release. Actually, I got it as a gift. So
So you didn't even buy that.
I didn't even buy it.
Well, then who knows? Yeah, who knows who these people are that are buying Halo? But apparently there's 4 of them for every one of us.
Surprisingly, it's quite easy to believe.
It is. It's a simpler game, right? You just shoot, point, and then shoot. And Kita stonewalling this off. The crossbows can't get in. And then he's got a couple of galleys here to prevent the crossbows from doing more damage. The crossbows might do more damage with chemistry, but Jaguar is strapped for gold. He really should... okay, he's got a new monastery, and he's making a monk, and he's going to recollect these relics, which is good. It's an important priority. But Kita with the water control here. He's able to control who walks around this map, and he's able to prevent Jaguar from coming in here and taking this gold.
I still think Jaguar can just, like, I don't know, 20 villagers, just rush a castle down, just throw down a bunch of docks, take the gold, and then, it's low odds, but maybe you could make something happen.
He's got a lot of wood that he could potentially sell for some gold, but it may be better actually to sell the stone. Get the castle foundation down, sell the rest of the stone, and have a starting amount of gold. But, as Italians, like, he could totally be owning the water here. Like, his dock technologies are half the cost of Keats's. But Keats recognizing the strategic importance of the water a little bit more than Jaguar and prioritizing it. And Jaguar is sort of trapped back in his little corner here. I'm not sure what he's going to do. He's making more archery ranges. And he's going into skirmishers, but, skirmishers are they're not how you claw back into the game. Keats building a town center on the island in the center. So he has made a transport ship, and he's accessing these resources now.
And we're also, we have so little space for Jaguar, right? So it's even hard to place buildings at this point.
Jaguar running out of building space, indeed. And he's got skirms in the queue with armor. But he's up against Imperial skirms and cavalry. And even a mangonel rolling forward. He still didn't take his 442 food wild boar. So maybe it's first game jitters against Kitsa, if this was their first game. Which I don't know, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But yeah, this should be over pretty soon, I think. I don't see how Jaguar comes back from this. I don't want to write his I don't want to write his epitaph yet, but it doesn't look good here. There's elephants running in too. Battle elephants. Vietnamese battle elephants. Don't they have the extra health? You can get
Yeah,
some.
with their unique tech, which actually has not been. I don't think Keats has built a castle yet, so we don't have any unique techs, but
Mm-hmm.
they do get extra health. They're really quite strong.
So Jag Warrior has a few Genbos mixed in here, but I don't think it's enough. He's been selling resources for gold, and he calls the GG.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keats has got him trapped. Jag Warrior not really able to get out of his pocket. He had a respectable crossbow push earlier, and Keats' town center is still burning from it, but he just wasn't able to get in the damage. Let's take a look at the statistics.
I think what you pointed out, the fact that Jaguar did not wall the northern shoreline, I think that's maybe the most important thing. Because if we stop that aggression from flooding in, then, our lives is just a little easier. There's less, wasted villager time. There's less stuff we have to deal with back home. Maybe with that we get the siege walks earlier, or maybe, we're just a little more focused. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Maybe the cost that he paid in attention for not walling that was what made the difference in his push against Kitsa with the crossbows and rams. So 138 units killed for Kitsa, 89 losses. Kitsa destroyed 17 buildings, lost 7. Jag Warrior converted 7 units though, but Kitsa's army was larger at its peak. Kitsa had more food collected and more gold collected. Jag Warrior had more wood and stone collected. In terms of technology, Kitsa reached each age first and explored more of the map and had a higher research count. Jag Warrior with 1 castle. Both players captured 2 relics. Kitsa had more relic gold and a larger villager high. And here is the timeline. As you can see, Kitsa managed a slow decline of Jag Warrior. Hey, Jag Warrior, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Hello, I missed everything. Well, you missed the first half of the stream, basically. A little bit more than half, but don't worry, it's on YouTube. You can go back and watch the recording. So we're going to go into the replays now, and we're going to cast the second game, which is Portuguese versus Turks. So we're going to
Portuguese versus Turks. Okay.
load the replay, and I will pause. All right, looks like we got a nomad start here. I am at 0 seconds, so Biscuits is going to let us know when he's ready.
Let me pull this up here.
So what do you guys think about Portuguese versus Turks on Nomad, which is essentially what this is? If you were playing a Nomad map like this, would you rather be Portuguese or would you rather be Turks? Would you rather be neither? What are your thoughts?
Ooh, this is interesting. I'm in. You're at 0?
Yes, I'm at 0.
Yeah, I'm ready to start.
All right, 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, Biscuits, start us off here. What do you see?
Yeah, so this looks like. This looks like Nomad. The map titled Nomad, right, with water around the edges, but it's a little bit different than the typical setup. So in the kind of right corner, it's a little more. It's much more. What do I want to say? Narrow, right? And on the left, it's a lot more open. So galleys are going to be way more useful on the left here. But on the right, I'm going to expect more melee ships. And again, the players happen to spawn. Like, their town centers are going to be pretty close to each other. And, they're both fine positions. Something going for Kita is that we have the gold here already on the town center. But we are in something of a corner. So this could be an issue if we get pushed. Right? This happens a lot of the time. When you start, like, so far in a corner on a Nomad map and you get pushed, you can have, like, no space to work with, which can be really nasty.
I love this. I love Jag Warrior's dock right here. What are the chances that Kitsa finds this on a Nomad map and comes in here to deny this? He's got 2 deep fish, and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 shallow fish or shore fish. So he could easily build like 4 or 5 fishing ships, justify 4 or 5 fishing ships here, and never go on water on the outside. But you can bet that Kitza will assume that he's on the outside. Literally, because Kitza built on the outside, right? So, and you always build a dock on Nomad. So, I think this is a great advantage for Jag Warrior. He's going to have a safe fish boom, and if he's lucky, Kitza will assume that he's building fish out here, because Jag Warrior is a good guy, right? Well, I'm sure he's a good guy, but I mean he's a skilled player. He's 1600s, so a 1600 player is not just going to give up water on Nomad, right? You'd have to be crazy. So maybe Kitza will build a few fire ships and like prowl around and look around the outside of this landmass for Jag Warrior's fishing economy and not find it when Jag Warrior is actually just fishing on this little pond here. He would have wanted more fish in the pond, says Jag Warrior. What do you think, Biscuits? Sorry.
I think, yeah, ideally you'd have like maybe one more deep fish, but I think this is still worth it, right? And I think, here's my thought. I don't know what's going to happen, but if you have it set up like this, I think what you want to do is you want to just go fast castle, and then you could castle drop if you like. If you realize how close your opponent's town center is, like we saw that in the game earlier. It didn't work out for the castle drop player, but it could work here. And think about it, you could also go for a forward dock with your Castle Age Navy, right? You're gonna have the Castle Age Navy before your opponent does. And that could be a pretty big deal.
Unfortunately for Jag Warrior, Kitza has spotted this. He explored this dock area after Jag Warrior had built the dock. So if he had explored it before Jag Warrior had docked, it would be still possible that he would check here for fish. But now he's definitely going to check here for fish, and Kitza might try and build a dock over here. Although, given that this pond is so small, all of Jag Warrior's focus could be on it. So it'll still be easier to defend than out here. And Jag Warrior will have to do like a tighter build, like a fast castle. This is not a mega fish boom type pond, right? Because there's not as much fish here. Whereas you can mega fish boom out here as much as you want. So he really wants to go fast castle if he's going to go on this pond. I feel as though he wants to go fast castle pretty quick. Jag Warrior says, castle. Oh wait. What we got Crazy Joe saying a sheep walked through a palisade wall. Wait, what? Where? I didn't see that.
I didn't see that either.
I'm sorry, Biscuits, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I'm not sure what you would open here. I think the Portuguese should be pretty good here though, right? Because either you go for like a bunch of organs or you like monk rush, right? And your monks are cheaper. I mean, Turk monks are good, right? But they're not cheaper. So it's just you're just straight up favored for the Portuguese player there.
Now, Kitza, I think, is in a little bit of... Okay, he does have some gold here. He's got 3 tiles of gold. But as Turks, you want a lot more than just 3 tiles of gold. Yeah. You know, because this is about 2,300, 2,400 gold here. It's a little bit less than 800 per gold mine, and he's collected some, I guess. But Kitza could run out of gold. And Jag Warrior could punish that very, very decisively. Jag Warrior has plentiful stone here. So it seems like there's more stone on this map than gold.
Yeah, there's actually... Wait. I mean, so this gold will last a while, but long term... I mean, so here's the thing. If we get pushed off this gold, I don't know where Kitza goes for gold. Like, the next gold is really far away. It's like way far to the left or north, past the TC for the Portuguese.
Where does Kitza go when he runs out of gold? Look at this! Look at this really long distance. Like, this elephant came from the other side of the map. That Kitza's luring this elephant, and he is using this ox wagon to get in the way of this elephant, which has 640 food.
That's a lot.
Jaguar is saying at least he has gold in his corner. My minerals are in Narnia. Oh yeah, Jaguar's closest gold is right here. So Jaguar has a harder time defending it.
It is far away from your opponent though. The starting anyway. So at least you have that.
Kitza does manage to get that boar in underneath his town center. Jaguar having the food clicks up to the feudal age. And I don't see a dock on the outside. Okay, Jaguar is starting it now.
Okay.
And he's built 5 fish in here. So maybe Jaguar's plan is just basically to have 5 fishing ships always working in here. And he challenges Kitsa for the water on the outside. But Kitsa's actually only built 3 fishing ships. So this tells me that Kitsa is actually planning on going fast castle himself, very fast. He's not investing a lot in the food from fish because, you know, he went to great effort to lure this boar in. He's got a lot of sheep underneath his town center. So I think that Kitsa wants to go fast castle into Janissaries and probably maybe plant a castle right here on this hill, which would be pretty brutal for Jag Warrior.
Yeah, we we could see a castle from Kitsa instead. You know, I don't know. Personally, I really like Janissaries. I don't. Sometimes I go for them and it makes me lose games, but I still enjoy it. Oh, we're gonna go for a militia rush. Oh,
Oh, Drush Fast Castle, maybe. He's got 3 on gold. So these militia are just here to maybe scout the map. Although Kitsa's got...
this is really unusual on a nomad map.
Auto Scout is a traitorous mod, says Jaguar. Oh, that was an Auto Scout thing. The Auto Scout running underneath the opponent's town center. I'm just impressed that he gave you an Auto Scout button on that ox wagon. Okay, 3 militia drush. 4 militia drush. And maybe it'll be man-at-arms. I mean, he's got more than 40 gold here. He could, and enough food. He could afford man-at-arms if he wanted them. Maybe the players start close enough together. Yeah, Keats is getting man-at-arms. And it's man-at-arms towers.
Okay.
This is fun.
You know, this is interesting. So this is well, it does use part of the Turks bonus, right? Faster gold mining, and also, I think Keats might be thinking about what I sort of mentioned, which is that I think the Portuguese has better options, at least in Castle Age. So he's thinking we'll do something a little unusual here, and we'll just fight it out in feudal.
I like how Keats had positioned these man-at-arms to get a hill bonus against this archery range. So that's why these 4 man-at-arms are tearing down this archery range so quickly. He's built a single tower, but Kitsa has not gone on to stone. So if Kitsa wants to make more towers with these man-at-arms, he's going to need some stone miners, but he runs back to the safety of his tower. I don't really know what this tower is doing. I guess he's making an archery range and he's making some archers now. So maybe it's man-at-arms into archers. He changes his mind. Jag Warrior...
This tower looks silly because we didn't scout that there was a lumber camp on the other wood line, which I think is where you would prefer the tower.
Kitsa should move a little bit closer to check out and see. Actually, he knows that there's a mining camp there, so he knows his opponent's taking resources there. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kitsa tried to get over there eventually, but he's kind of faffing about. Okay, he's got a few man-at-arms. They're going to go hit this mill, it looks like. Okay, he's just finding it now, actually.
Ooh, that's a good target.
It is.
Clean up the archers.
There's 3 villagers here, from what I can tell. Jag Warrior has to run away.
Okay, that's a really good find.
So he is going to get value from these man-at-arms and archers that he's been building. Meanwhile, what's Jag Warrior's plan? What is Jag Warrior up to? He's towering his gold out here, which is smart, I think. I think he's going fast castle. He doesn't seem to... He made a few archers. I don't know. Yeah, he's kind of getting close to having the food. I think it was really smart of Jag Warrior to build this dock out here, although he's only made 1 fishing ship from it, from what I can tell. But maybe Kitsa assumed that because Jag Warrior's dock was inside of this pond, that Jag Warrior would not build another dock. If we go to Kitsa's point of view, I don't think he's... Yeah, he hasn't scouted the other shore, so he doesn't even know that Jag Warrior has this out here. Jag Warrior might be able to sneak up a bunch more fishing ships. And yeah, market and another archery range, because he needs a new archery range. And no blacksmith, so... Well, actually, no, the blacksmith is here. So he's going to be able to click up. He could have clicked up, really, if he had an archery range and a blacksmith at any time. And I think maybe Jag Warrior... Okay, he's got the resources. He clicks up. Good idea. How close is Kitsa to clicking up to the next stage? Let's see. Not really close. Kitsa would have to rebalance his eco significantly. He doesn't have a market with which to do so.
Yeah, now it's a little bit of a. This is kind of a strange game. The man at arms paid off, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Keith's going to be a little bit late. I think we should probably get back on water, or if we're not going to fight for water for Kitsa, just like redock somewhere. Just add a few more fish. Why not, right? You're floating the wood.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that Kitsa was expecting Jag Warrior to invest in water, maybe on the outside. I don't know. He's not here. We can't ask him. Jag Warrior is here. We could ask Jag Warrior. But Jag Warrior is not going to be able to tell us what Kitsa was thinking unless Kitsa told him first. Which maybe he did. So Kitsa's just going to tear down these forward buildings instead. Jag Warrior coming around this way with his Portuguese archers. And let's check Jag Warrior's resources. Yeah, nothing. No stone really.
Should be able to get Bodkin and crossbow right away.
He's headed out this way. I think Jag Warrior wants to build... Oh, okay, here it is. He's going to build a mill, and he's going to hunt these monkeys. Which are not really monkeys, they're apes. But they're monkey-sized. They only have 22 meat on them. So... Barrack's going to go down. Jag Warrior's in Castle Age. What's next from Jag Warrior? Well, he's built another archery range. He's making archers. He could get crossbowmen. That's probably his plan. Crossbowmen, with the right upgrades, will clear this pretty effectively. And come on, Kitsa, finish off that barracks. There's only 35 HP.
The tower will do it.
Oh, the tower. Yeah, that's true. The tower is doing it. Every time the tower fires at the barracks, it does 1 damage. And Jag Warrior not sending a villager to repair. So Kitsa's going to wrap around this way and find Jag Warrior's wood economy. I feel like Jag Warrior could have relocated his wood economy a while back, but maybe that's easy to say. Oh, wait, what? Jag Warrior built this... When did Jag Warrior build this mill here? Was this mill here before the Palisades or after?
I don't know, actually. I'm not sure when that went up.
It's not easy being a berry picker in Jag Warrior's economy.
No, yeah, it's the fatality rate's pretty high for them.
It's not a job I would want to have if I were
no, not at all.
A subject in Jag Warrior's empire. Yeah, so he's got to evacuate. Keats has gotten crossbow. Jag Warrior actually has not gotten crossbow yet. He's in here trying to... And actually, he could get some good damage in. He's denied this university. I don't think Keats is going to force it up. Yeah, he's not. He's going to run away. And this is a really good, actually, win for Jag Warrior here. Oh, okay. Jag Warrior trying to sneak up this mill and take these fruit bushes after the Palisades. Aha. Well, Keats, he caught you red-handed stealing his berries. No villagers in this town center, so you can't really garrison it. I guess he's just going to have to set the gather point here. And both players just with an absolutely brutal archer raids on each other. I guess I should not be surprised that it devolved into... not devolved, evolved, we'll say, into a kind of like a mirror crossbows match. But Jag Warrior really needs to get these villagers... Alright, he's going to build another tower. I think that's a good choice.
I think either player could benefit from... I mean, I know you're using a lot of wood for your military, but because there's no navy, I mean, your fish are just running wild, right?
Yeah, this is a pretty brutal... Jaguar's probably lost like 8 villagers here. That's he's down to 26 villagers. Crazy Joe says, in beta version of DE it happened, and sales slow for Christmas, so Steam suddenly was selling game at the discount. No charge for a few bugs not yet fixed. I refused to buy DE for 6 months until most of the bugs were fixed. Yeah, Crazy Joe demands an excellent product. And that's what we like about him.
It's good to have standards, you know.
This tower, it is good to have standards. This tower didn't really protect the wood line. I think if Jag Warrior had been a little bit more proactive, maybe he could have like relocated. He could have, like, walled this off to the edge of the map, and then maybe walled even this off, and then built a tower here or something like that at the front. He could have protected it better, but as Biscuits was saying the last game, it seems like Jaguar didn't invest in the necessary infrastructure to give himself peace of mind. And even though, it may not make a lot of sense to build those walls there, I just do it, and I don't even play nearly as well as Jaguar, but I have to have peace of mind for my pleb 1300 level. I'll be building like stone walls everywhere just because I don't want to worry about it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want my opponent killing me. And that's actually holding me back because I should be able to spare the attention. And most players that don't build those stone walls because it's an investment get ahead in other ways and take massive map control. But for 1300 level, it works okay. But I think Jaguar kind of just not giving himself the peace of mind benefit here. And that could have really hurt him with that raid.
So you see how, like, Kita on the right palisaded with the berries? So Jack could have done something similar a little far north, like wall to the shoreline, just so you can funnel your opponent's army. Right?
Here or here. He had a couple of different opportunities to do that.
Yeah.
And that gives you vision, too. So if your opponent tries to go that way, you can see that they're trying to get around you. In this case, Kitsa used the vision for evil. He used the vision, and then he sent his man-at-arms here, and they killed some berry pickers. But Kitsa has 43 villagers, and Jaguar is at 31, so Jaguar is definitely behind. And losing his base means that Jaguar is not really going to be able to keep this dock safe. He's making a couple hulks just in case. I don't know what the hulks are going to defend. He needs fish traps. Or he needs to just delete these fishing ships, but why bother, right? It's you're not really pop capped, so you don't really need the pop space. But if you did, without any food here, or without any wood, it doesn't make a lot of sense to have them. Alright, villagers fleeing Kitsa's Turkish crossbows.
Yeah, we're both players are building up to a castle here.
Oh, Jaguar saying he wanted them on the outside. He queued them from the wrong dock.
Oh yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, well that explains why. Yeah, that explains why Jaguar is making hulks from this dock. And he's got some water aggression that's good on the outside. Kitsa building a very weird town center here. Town center dropping Jaguars.
I think it's for the gold.
Yeah,
I think it's
I don't know.
for the gold because Kitsa actually ran out of the gold that was under the first town center.
Oh, yep. Kitsa's... Okay, Jaguar's got a castle coming up. I'm wondering if Jaguar's going to build those organ guns. And yeah, this is a gold town center, but Jaguar calls the GG. He's just too far behind. So the good news is that we do get a third game. So Keats is at 52 villagers and Jaguar is at 27 villagers.
So I think what maybe killed Jag was part of it was like not having the foresight to just wall a little bit more. And then also we never got crossbow. I think we were floating a lot of gold, so we should have just bought some food for the crossbow. I think that's why we didn't get it, because our food eco was kind of weird, like, off. But of course that's not the only thing. But like if you have crossbow, you can fight against crossbow. We just had archers with Bodkin.
Yeah, I agree. I think he was just too embroiled in combat. Game 1 is left, says Jaguar. Okay, so we casted them in reverse order. Oops, sorry about that, Jaguar.
Well,
so Cookie Pirate says GG. Yes, GG, well played. Kitsa with 60 kills to Jaguar's 23. Kitsa destroyed 4 buildings, had a larger army of only 4 more units. But it was a more advanced army. And I guess it wasn't split across water either. Kitsa with more food and wood collected, and stone by just 10, and Jaguar with slightly more gold collected. Jag Warrior with better feudal and castle age advancements. Kitza explored more of the map and had more research. Kitza's villager high was 10 villagers higher than Jag Warrior's. And you can see Kitza managing the slow decline of Jag Warrior. Alright, the last game. Where is it? Jag Warrior versus Kitza, Berbers versus Malians. Let's load into the replay. Alright, I am at 0 seconds and ready whenever you are.
Yep, I am ready to go.
Alright, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so we have the Berbers versus the Malians for Kitza. We got a couple of pawns here. This map reminds me a lot of Kawasan. We got sort of this like neutral plateau thing in the middle, really. It's almost like Jag Warrior's base is sort of in a basin.
Yeah.
Kitza's got a bigger basin than Jag Warrior, actually. It's got more resources. I actually like Kitza's map here better. What do you think?
It's actually... So both have 4 gold, right? Let me try to look here. Backstone. Both actually have 4 gold and a backstone. The one thing that actually... it's kind of ironic, but because Jag has a more high ground around his base here, it's actually worse for him, right? That's more stuff that you can shoot uphill down. That being said, it could also be good, right? If we secured the high ground as Jag, then that's actually a better defensive position than Kitza could get, because it's more flat land.
That's true. If Jag Warrior could claim, you know, these forests and have a good presence out here, wall this off, and so that, you know, there's no real fighting happening in this basin, then it could be a big benefit to him. Banana Philosopher says, how do you get this XP thing? I want to be first. I have absolutely no idea. I don't know how it works. I'm not really doing this for the stream benefits or anything like that. This is not a business for me. We just do this casting to set an example, because we ask for help. We ask other people to help cast Alchemy League, so therefore we have to be willing to cast Alchemy League. But without Capture Age, you know, I don't really know that the stream is really something that could grow. Basically, the size of the stream and the number of people here, it's pretty much just tied to the league, right? It's not, people are not going to find this channel through YouTube. YouTube's going to recommend Hera and T90 and all these other big names. So basically, the people that watch the stream is just kind of my way of giving them a little bit of an extra thank you for participating in the league by featuring their games. So, oh, you start with Cavalry Raider Scout. He has 75 HP and he has massive amounts of armor. So these Cavalry Raiders do 1 damage. But they have regular Scout attack. We saw this in a previous cast. I'm trying to remember who I was casting it with. I think it was Oladushek versus Kiratastrich, actually. So Kitza finding this pond, and he's going to dock here. And Jag Warrior is actually docking on the opposite pond. So, okay. That'll make for a more passive game at first. And you start with a monastery. And there are relics on the map, so...
There's a lot of fish. Like, this is... Was this like 2,000 fish or something? So... Yeah. You could actually... So, there's 2 ways you could look at it. You could look at it like, okay, there's a lot of fish, so I have to contest my opponent. Or, you could look like, there's 2,000 fish, so I should just secure my own pond. Which means, you know, if you want to secure your own pond, you probably dock... Your second dock is more forward to cover where your opponent would dock. I don't know how they're going to play it out, right? I think it's a little easier to play if you're just thinking about defending as opposed to being aggressive, but we'll see. We'll see what they think.
So Jag Warrior says that they do 1 attack. Interesting. So you mean that they do 1 attack to everything, not just that they do 1 attack to each other. because we already know that they are going to do one attack to each other. It doesn't show what their attack status is, but they have, for 10,000 melee armor, they have to do a minimum of 1 damage to everything, no matter how well armored that thing is. So if the armor of the unit that you're attacking exceeds your attack value, then you just do 1 point of damage to them. Third fishing ship in production for Jag Warrior. Kitza has 3 fishing ships already and is building another. Let's see.
Both are going to be up similar time.
Yeah.
I'd expect feudal from both. And just... Again, you could go stable or range here. It's interesting that Kitza went for the forward lumber camp here. That's kind of risky.
It's kind of greedy, too. And I guess at this point, you know, Kitza's going to know about all the lumber camps. But maybe when he first went to build a lumber camp, this was the only lumber camp that he knew about. But I find that unlikely.
Yeah. It does happen sometimes.
Now, I think that archers are really good here, because this cavalry raider, wherever he is, could soak skirmisher arrow fire pretty well, or the arrow fire of other archers pretty well. If you can, like, micro him in front, or make sure that your enemy's archers automatically attack him, he could absorb a lot of free arrows and slings from your opponent. Well, your own units, if your opponent's cavalry raider are not around, your own units can fire upon the enemy army and deal lots of damage. Okay, Kitza has made a militia.
Kitza's a militia enjoyer, it seems.
He is, and I enjoy man-at-arms as well. Alright, so he's going to have 3, and then he's got 2 on gold, so this tells me that Kitza's going to go man-at-arms.
Jag does spot it, which is good.
Yeah, Jag sees it. They both have a very ineffective, like, slap fight against each other. This bear is doing more damage to this militia than this guy with a sword, which is kind of just funny Age of Empires logic. But either way, I mean, Kitza can't be too happy that he's donated a little bit of that HP before ever getting the man-at-arms upgrade. And Kitza coming in here and trying to snipe the turkeys, but the turkeys require 7 hits, which is really funny. So he's just going to steal a turkey instead. So Jaguar destroys it so that Kitza can't steal it, which is even a little bit funnier. Although he could still take this turkey actually, so it's not like a complete destruction. Kitza is still playing like it's 1999, I guess, or at least 2025. Trying to lame this food in here, but not succeeding. All right,
so I assume we're going to see a range from Jag. I think, well, so this is the hybrid experience, right? So we're building hulks, which is good, but that means we can't build a range right now because we're really strapped for wood.
Ah. So Jag Warrior has prioritized the construction of hulks. He's built a dock on Kitza's side, and he's trying to steal some of Kitza's turkeys. Okay, he sees that these turkeys are taking a bad path. A path that would allow them to be captured, and he redirects them. These hulks are going to jump out, and they're going to attack these fishing ships. Crazy Joe says, Age of Kings was the best time on Microsoft Zone and Age of Conquerors a year later. Good old days. 1999 to 2002. Back in the days, Crazy Joe was a big fan. One of the first people on the ladder. Oh, no, Jag Warrior, no.
The Vils do run faster, at least, as the
Berbers. And he gets away. He uses the Berber speed to get away. And not even this cavalry raider. Okay, the cavalry raider does finishers. Okay, so the Kitza got something out of his cavalry raider. And these villagers are going to fight the man-at-arms, which is not really ever something that you want to do. But I guess if he outnumbers them well enough, and he micros them properly, it could be okay. I counted 2 Jag Warrior villagers going down here. 2, and then this one is 3. And yeah, I think Jag Warrior just wants to get out of there with his turkeys. Alright, Kitza steals the turkeys. And Jaguar is going to need a new lumber camp. Where's it going to be? It's going to build it over here. Kitsa running in and getting shot down by a face full of arrows. But while that was all happening, Jaguar has put Kitsa's water economy to a standstill. There are no longer any fishing ships here. Let's see if Kitsa has anything good garrisoned in the dock. He's got warships or what he has. Okay, he's got 3 hulks against Jaguar's 2 hulks. So the hulks are going to clear this. Yeah, they're going to win. But Jaguar's fishing economy is untouched, whereas Kitsa has been idled.
Here's something interesting. Because of the naval play, Jag's fish have been collecting food this whole time. So we actually, I don't know if we want to do this, but we could actually click up to Castle Age pretty soon.
Ooh.
We're just missing the gold.
You're right. Cookie Pirate says, games back then were so good. RCT2, Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, Age of Kings, then Nintendo 64 and PS2, 90s, early 2000s games. These days just aren't quite what they were back then. That's not to say there aren't good games these days, but there are plenty of great ones. I agree. I think that was kind of the golden age of gaming. Not because they had like the technology and the graphics, but just because they had some really creative designs. They had some really creative people that had to work with that with that level of technology to put out a game. And Kitsa has found Jaguar's other woodline here. What are your thoughts?
This is not good for Jag, like at all. But I think we can get a really good Castle Age timing. Now, what do we do with that? I'm not sure, but that's kind of when the Berbers come alive, right? That's like really, I think their best age because their stable units are cheaper, so you can really rush a lot of stable units easily.
And I think Jaguar recognizes that too. He's getting fishing lines now. And I think Jaguar drops 2 stables, sends a bunch out to gold, and then as soon as he hits Castle Age, see how close Kitsa is to clicking up. Not close at all. He rushes over here with some knights and just wrecks Kitsa's economy. That's what he needs to do. I think he can undo a lot of the damage. Not undo, but he can even the score. But instead, Jaguar is building an archery range and a house, and he's on stone. Oh no, don't tell me Jaguar is planning on going camel archers.
I don't think that's the play. I mean, camel archers are good, but it's going to be way slower than just making knights.
Okay, so the archers get... Wait, what? Okay, the archers are past the town center. Yeah, Jaguar not investing enough. I'm noticing a pattern in all 3 of these games. It seems like Jaguar could have invested a little bit more in keeping his economy safe. And he loses a few villagers here.
I mean, I wonder if it should have just been a tower, earlier. Like maybe around the first lumber camp or the second one or something like that.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe a tower would be better. Banana Philosopher says both these players love their archers. Yes, they do. And Keats is very good at microing them. Jaguar says that knights actually sounds nice. And Cookie Pirate says archer fights are great, but it sucks that they've been nerfed over time. Yeah, I mean, archers have slowly been nerfed, I guess. It's got good damage output. Alright, so Kitsa has clicked up to the Castle Age. I guess he used the market to make it happen. We didn't see it. Jaguar is Castle Age, and he is going into cavalry archers. Oh boy. Alright, well, let's see what happens. He's in cavalry archers now, and he's on stone, so he wants to go camel archers later. He's just building some cavalry archers to protect his economy.
I don't really see... I mean, this can work, but it's slower to produce still, if you think about it. Like, because Keats is producing more archers right now, so we'll probably be on crossbow. And yeah, and then we're going to go for camels. Keats has a stable coming up.
Oh, yeah. All right, so here's Keats' stable. Malians have a pretty compelling stable once they get Farimba, but that is an Imperial Age. I believe that's an Imperial Age technology. Let's check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Wait. Oh, we're looking at Berbers. That's why I'm confused. Yeah, Tigui is their castle age that gives town centers the ability to fire arrows even when empty. The Malians have the cheaper wood costs on their buildings, so Jaguar has not built like a tower here, even though this is like the third time that Keats is coming over here and hitting this. Jaguar still has not secured this. He needs to send these villagers over here. Always protect... Alright, he is evacuating now. Villager goes down. And he's redirecting some cavalry archers to defend. He also has a few more cavalry archers coming. Sniping a turkey. Keats is going to get this town center up. This is kind of a weird town center. It's like right next to his other town center.
And it's kind of crazy to build 4 town centers as well, to me.
Oh, Keats going for... Yeah, he's going for a 4 town center boom. That does seem very greedy. It seems like Jag Warrior could punish this. Keats has been known for his greed, though, in Alchemy League. We've seen Keats do even greedier things than this. Maybe he can get away with it, but he might have to learn from this. Although this is the last game that we are casting in the set. It was the first game that they played. So maybe Keats finds that a 4 town center boom is just too greedy. We'll see. Yeah, depends on whether or not Jag Warrior wins. Jag Warrior sending over some Genitours.
That's interesting. I rarely see this unit, but I did forget about them.
Crazy Joe's got to head out. Crazy Joe, thanks for being here, as always. Appreciate you. Jag Warrior has the Hello Raider AoE Insight. Success multiple time if you didn't guess. That's true. Jag Warrior likes to be very aggressive. Cookie Pirate says, no one won AoE games by being generous. See you, Crazy Joe. Enjoy lunch.
True.
You want war to be as unfair as possible. So,
I think Jag is going to build up to like a forward castle here, which could be pretty nice. I'm not sure where it would go though.
Maybe right here on top of the gold, or right here on top of the lumber camp, and deny both of these golds. I mean, he knows about it. We check the fog of war. Yeah, he knows all about this. So he might be able to squeeze it up right here. Jag Warrior's forward castle. He could actually afford several forward castles. And we'll see. He's building up an army of Genitours.
I mean, those will take care of the crossbow pretty well, right? They move faster and they're basically skirmishers.
Did they receive a buff recently at all? I've heard that Genitours are basically like crossbows, but worse in terms of statistics.
I don't actually know. Like, I see this unit so rarely, I don't really pay attention to it. But it should be pretty decent. I mean, they have 50 HP. They're mounted.
Yeah,
it should be decent, right?
Keitsa can't run. Is this bear going to win against this Genitor? No, it doesn't look like it.
It's closer than you would like, but no. Okay, I think this is the time. There's like no army for Keitsa. We should go for a forward castle.
Look at this castle. This is a gorgeous castle right here. But Jag Warrior should send some people forward to help out with that. And it looks like he is. He's got 2 monks, and he's got a fistful of Genitours coming. The monks will be great for converting knights. And he's got 16 villagers going forward. Keats is building another stable, too. Alright. Woolaloo. So the knight has to run away. The crossbows are going to try and focus the villagers. But the Genitours are here to support.
Oh.
And Keitsa counter-castling. Oh, that's risky.
Huh.
Jag Warrior sent a lot of people forward to build this. And it's already 30% up. And so now Jag Warrior is going to run in here and harass the villagers. He should totally send the monk too. Send all the monks, send the knights, send everything. I think both these castles go up. Yeah, they both go up. Actually, Keatsa's goes up a little bit further. or a little bit faster. And I don't think either player has murder holes yet, so actually Jag Warrior could hop out and shank the base of this castle with his villagers. But he's actually just going to drop another castle.
Oh, he's going to drop another...
Wow.
Wow, okay.
So totally shuts down his opponent's gold. And I think petards. I think petards are the answer. I don't think camel archers are a good idea. Kita using a villager to like quick wall that out, but does not succeed. There's a monk here. This is very chaotic. Kita building a tower at the same time. Jaguar is saying they're imp skirm efficiency with cav mobility. So Jaguar is a big fan of genitors.
I believe that they're good, yeah. I just don't see them very often. I think actually Jag might take this game now. I think we build a siege workshop. We could actually build another castle. We have the stone for a third one.
Mm-hmm. Here he comes. He's got another mob of villagers coming forward, and Kita sees it, and he's like, alright, Vil fight me, bro. So Jaguar is sending some genitors here maybe to contest, and some camel archers. He's going to build the castle here instead.
Ooh.
So Kita is going to have 3 castles in his face. Kita's been making petards out of his own castle, but I don't think he can make petards fast enough. And he's also fully garrisoned this castle to increase the number of arrows that it has. I would love to see Jag Warrior get redemption. Actually, he can't. I don't think he can afford it. Let's check. Actually, he could.
I just want to go imp, actually.
Convert these buildings. Or go imp. Yeah. Imp would maybe even be better. He has the buildings for it.
Yeah.
His economy is safe because he's on the offensive. So the second was for the TC. So the first castle that he built was to get in. This one is for the gold, and this one is for the town centers, I believe. And Jaguar is on his way up to Imperial Age. That's brutal. He's going to build a mining camp here. He's going to take even more stone. And he's going to build another castle, probably. Maybe. What is this, though? This is never going to work. Jaguar trying to steal this relic, and
that was gutsy.
Gets pulverized.
That was very bold.
Yeah. I think the monk just pathed incorrectly.
There's also something interesting. So Kita has had 20 villagers garrison the castle. Obviously, that's good to win the castle war, but that's also 20 villagers that aren't working, which I actually think is a pretty big deal here.
Yeah, I agree. It's when you consider if you're going to be making petards, I don't really think it's worth it. He's made a ram to help out too. But now these villagers can get to work taking this gold, which is what Kita wanted. He wanted to get this castle down as soon as possible so that he could have this gold. Although Kitsa's in the back, taking minerals here, and Jag Warrior doesn't know about it. He knows that there are resources here, but he doesn't know that Kitsa is here. So Jag Warrior should totally go and check that out. But he may never check it out. Jag Warrior is in a decent spot. You know, he's got good map control. He's got 2 castles here. He's destroyed a bunch of buildings, denied a bunch of farms, destroyed his opponent's starting town center. And Jag Warrior could actually build another town center right here in the, right between these town centers. And he's just about Imperial Age too, so he could make trebuchets as well. Jag Warrior has a lot of good options.
He's got a lot going for him.
Jaguar says the first for the position, the second for the TC, and the third, why not? I had the res. And now you've got the res for another one. It looks like he sold the stone, though, to get gold, so that he could make trebuchets. And
here's the awkward thing. I don't know what Kita actually does here. So, in theory, when you're in this situation, you have a better eco, right? Because your opponent had to send a lot to drop the castles, but we've taken so much damage, I think Jag has a better or comparable.
Yeah.
So...
And if we check the economy for them, maybe I can cycle through here. And actually, they have the same number of villagers, which is just crazy to me. Kita has 79 villagers versus Jag Warrior's 71. So he does not have the advantage I thought he would have. Kita had this very greedy 4-town center boom. And Jag Warrior is just punishing that. It's kind of falling apart for Kita.
I think it's because we didn't have any army to stop that forward castle, right? So that was really nasty. And then even when we killed the first castle, now there's 2 more, right? And they're an imp. So what are we gonna do?
Guess we're gonna mass rams. That's what Keats is up to.
I mean, I do like the Gebettos and Rams. I just don't think it's enough. Because if we kill one castle, there's still another one, and it should be enough army to kill. Well, maybe we'll see. The camels are going off somewhere else for some reason. I don't know where they're going.
Yeah, what is Jaguar doing? Oh, I guess he just cleaned up a raid or something. He's coming back.
I didn't catch that. I'm not sure.
Is Jaguar taking his foot off of the gas now? He's kind of letting Keatsa have some space. Wait. Oh, he did get redemption. Alright, so he's converting some buildings.
That's a lot of rams. This could be enough.
He wants the archery ranges specifically, and he does get them. He's built a mangonel to flatten some rams. Now the Gebettos hop out, and they attack the mangonel, and they destroy it. Petards are highly effective against rams.
Yeah, petards would be good.
But I don't think that Jaguar is going to have the time to build them. I think these rams are going to be very effective in killing the castle. Castle
I also
goes
think
down.
murder holes would have been big here. I actually think, yeah, we should have gotten murder holes, I think. We could also wall around the castle here to prevent the rams from getting to our treb.
That's true. He knows that it's coming after all. He lost the other castle to them. And Jaguar's position is going to get cleared up. Keats is going to take this back.
I'll take it back. I was kind of doubting Keats' position, but I think Jag undermade army, and Keats made enough. Was less greedy this time, right?
So Jaguar is getting. He still has 2 castles. He's built 1 and 2 in the back of his base, and he's building camel archers, and he's getting bracer. And Keats is building a castle here. And Jaguar has all of these villagers stranded forward, so I guess he's just gonna shank the rams. They're essentially tied on villager count. I think Jaguar should try and escape. Maybe he feels that he can't, so he's just gonna kill those rams to the best of his ability. But there's not much that Berbers can do against an infantry and siege ram push, or even a capped ram push in this case. So that's really what Keatsa is fighting for. Here comes Keatsa to reclaim his gold. He's still got a decent amount of gold in the back that Jag Warrior never discovered. But now he's got all of his gold back. Jag Warrior going to build another castle, but I don't really think that he can do anything with this castle. He's got, you know, the same rams, same Gebetto problem. Okay, here come the camel archers. They pick off a villager.
We need some knights, or even just light cav. Even just to kill the rams, really.
And this is Keats doing all of this off of, like, he did all of this off of this one castle that Jag Warrior never prioritized. Even though he was making trebuchets, which I think is a little bit of a misplay. I think Jag Warrior should have tried to tear down his opponent's castles immediately. So Jag Warrior going to build this other castle back here. Building a siege workshop, a couple of siege workshops. The Gebettos are coming, and this castle's going to go up, and then it's going to come down, I think, pretty quickly.
I think pulling away the camel archers was a big mistake as well.
Where
we
are
really
the
need to defend this position.
Oh, yeah, the camel archers are out there. So did Jag Warrior at least get murder holes? No, it doesn't look like he did.
Yeah, it looks like we knew.
Okay, he's got repair villagers, but he's not able to repair in time, and the rams do destroy it. So Jag Warrior down to 66 villagers, and Keatsa has 84 villagers.
We do have 3 castles in the back for Jaguar now, so we can make a bunch of trebs. I'm actually, I'm not sure who's gonna win this at this point. It's
I
kind
don't
of
know.
still in the air.
Jaguar had a really strong position earlier, but Kitsu was able to turn it around. You never want to trickle treb like this. You always want to send like 4 or 5 trebuchets at once so your opponent doesn't have time to react. But I think it is going to work out. And trebuchets are a good play here. And he's not really, you know, he doesn't have to defend as much. I think Kitsa, after losing this castle, he's only going to have 1 castle that he can make his Gebetos from. And Kitsa hasn't really tech switched into anything else. Jag Warrior just now getting Horse Collar. That sucks.
Oh, that's really late, yeah. Well, better late than never, I think.
So Kitsa with 82 villagers. I don't know why he would fight this. Like, I guess he's looking for Treb snipes. Could these mangonels flatten the Gebetos and turn the tide?
They could. They could also die really fast, so you gotta be really careful.
Yep. So Kitsa's either doing a good job of microing or it's kind of random. Alright, and so Kitsa manages to out-micro that, forcing Jaguar to pull back here. He's also going to lose all of these siege weapons. Oh boy, Jaguar. And Jaguar, though, is making a comeback here on water. He's pushing Kitsa's fishing ships away. Actually, Jaguar managed to save a couple of these trebuchets, which is impressive.
I know we're like, our eco is kind of all over the place, but some stable units from Jag would just be really nice. Like even just to raid or something, or kill the rams or something.
That's true. And Malians don't get any more than pikemen, so it you're not going to take them as much bonus damage as it might seem. So Jag Warrior here with a hill disadvantage, and for that reason, I think the camels are going to go down.
It's also
Kitsa here with 4 Gebetos.
something else at play here, which is, well, one is that, you know, the advantage of the camel archer is their range, right? They don't want to get in close. But they also are missing husbandry and bloodlines, so they're not nearly as strong as they should be.
So that's what Jaguar means when he said he had no stable upgrades. He didn't build a stable, so he didn't get the upgrades from the stable.
He doesn't even have a stable. That's why, yeah, that's why that's why you're missing those.
Boy, imagine if Jaguar had built like 2 stables and done a night raid early on. He probably could have won by now. I don't know, maybe not. The camel archers are pretty good. He's got 9 of them so far, making more. I think Kitsa needs to be making more rams now. Jag Warrior struggles against these rams. Kitsa's actually invested in Imperial Age, finally. Could Jag Warrior end this before Kitsa reaches Imp? No, but he could he do a lot of damage before Kitsa reaches Imp? Probably. So the Gebetos come in for a raid, but this castle from Jag Warrior is defensive. Jag Warrior coming out here for some minerals. I think he's gonna build a mining camp here. So these camel archers are coming to finish off the Gebetos, I think. They're faster, they have a hill advantage, and there are more of them now.
They're gonna get eaten up.
Yeah, the Gebetos gotta run.
Okay, yeah, so we only have 2 trebs for Jag. I mean, so yeah, now Kitsa could just go for Farimba camels, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that will take care of the camel archers.
Yeah, Jag Warrior.
Sorry, I was just mentioning Kitsa had to rebuild the university. I think we lost that from earlier.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. But Jag Warrior, like he's in Imp now. He really needs to take advantage of it. Kitsa getting Imp, and he's getting Elite Gebeto immediately. He really wanted that technology. He's investing in the armor, so Kitsa is doubling down, tripling down on these Gebetos, which is good news for Jag Warrior. I think if Kitsa went into camels, Jag Warrior would have a harder time.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, these Rams are good because, again, we still don't really have anything to fight against the Rams. But we'll see.
Yeah, nothing to fight against the Rams except excessive numbers of camel archers. Oh, and some mangonels, apparently.
Okay, the mangonels are good. Those are really nice against the Rams, but they die really fast to the Cubetos.
Yep, he's got to be careful. But the mangonels might be the winner here, the winning play. Kitza has gotten capped ram, which is a good investment. Jaguar should totally flatten this monastery. Alright, he's got trebuchets coming forward. Hopefully these camels don't get... Alright, yeah, there we go. We got a bunch of technologies in the queue for Jag Warrior. He does have the score lead, and he's got a relatively safe economy. It's mostly covered by castles. And he's taken Keats's relics away. He's got bombard cannons rolling forward.
This is a lot of camel archers now. Like, this is a really dangerous mass of camel archers.
Camel archers have a large damage output. I mean, they're not elite camel archers, which would deal 8 base damage, but they still do a lot. But he needs to be careful with them. He needs to get them out of the town center, or not town center, the castle range. Oh, he sees the capped rams coming.
Ooh, those are nice attack grounds.
Jag Warrior saying that his wood economy was very bad. Jaguar managing to destroy this town center here on the right. Yeah, the wood economy, it's tough on a map like this because the forests are relatively small. This is actually probably the smallest forest I've seen on Hyperrandom.
One benefit is that the Berber villagers, they do make it slightly less bad when you have inefficient resources, right? Because they move faster.
That's true.
It's mitigated, at least.
It is mitigated. All right, Trebuchet is rolling forward. What does Kitza do? I think he needs bombard cannons of his own, maybe. Although Kitza's running out of map. He's got some wood, I guess. He could come forward for wood up here, but Jag Warrior would probably spot it eventually, before too long. And Jag Warrior is again like inhabiting Kitza's gold. Kitza's actually out of gold, from what I can tell. He has to take gold over here on the left.
Oh, yeah, just a gold on the left.
Which is risky. Kitza coming in here for a siege weapon raid. Jag Warrior caught out of position. Kitza managing to destroy 2 bombard cannons, 2 trebuchets, but it cost him basically all of his Cubetos. Actually, all of his Cubetos.
The benefit of the unique unit here. The thing is, I just don't think they're adding enough value against the camel archers, and we burned through like all of our gold, so we can't really make camels now, or yeah, camels to deal with the camel archers.
So Jag Warrior is saying now that his wood economy is better now, he's able to really start pressuring with the camel archers, and he's able to start doing more damage. He's saying that's why he didn't do more damage in early imp, because his wood economy was awful.
Yeah, that's something that'll happen, you know. You'll have like a big push going, and then you'll sort of hit a bottleneck, because something will happen, like your wood line runs out, or, you know, something of the sort. And then it becomes really tricky. Oh, the GG is called. Wow.
Kitza calls the GG. Let's go. Jaguar takes a game off of Kitza. I bet he's pretty happy about that.
So, you know, I would say one thing I've always noticed about Jag is that Jag Warrior does not quit. Like, he is really resilient. And sometimes what can happen is even if your opponent's in a winning position, but they sort of miss the mark. They like, you know, they don't kill you quick enough. And then Jaguar, he stays on, right? He's really hard to kill. I think that's kind of what it's looked like here, right? Really nice push. And then it looked like Kitza cleaned everything up. But then Jaguar came back with the cam archers. He kept trading military, which looked kind of rough. But at the end, Kitza never got to the enemy base, right? After, like, feudal.
Yeah. This is what it was right here, Biscuits. It was Jag Warrior finding Kitza's gold on the left. So we can see
Yeah.
that with Jaguar's knowledge of this gold, he could literally just stand ground with these camel archers here and continue his presence, and Kitza can't take gold anymore. And so that's why Kitza called the GG. They were good games. Thank you for being here, Banana Philosopher.
There's some interesting games.
Let's go through the
The
statistics real quick. Sorry, what you were going to say? One more thing, Biscuits?
Sorry, just I actually so I really like the Gibetto. Kitsu was really good at sniping siege, but in a one-on-one fight with the cam archers, they just don't perform. So I think what it was for me probably when we got to Imp, we teched elite Gibetto. I think that should have just been heavy camel, right? I think you should just be heavy camel, and then if you want, you can add in Gibettos later, right?
Let's take a look at the statistics. Jag Warrior with an impressive kill-to-death ratio here. Destroyed 61 buildings and lost only 10. Converted 5 units and a largest army of 38. Economy. Jag Warrior had more wood and stone collected. Kitza had more food and gold collected. Technology. Kitza was first to Feudal Age. Jag Warrior was first to Castle Age and Imperial Age both by a lot. And this is what secured him the win, in my opinion. Kitza had more of the map explored. They both researched the same amount. Jag Warrior with 7 castles total, 2 relics, and villager high of 110. But Kitza had more relic gold because he controlled those relics for longer. And the timeline shows a pretty well managed decline of Kitza's empire by Jag Warrior.
Yeah, the Ford castles, that was interesting. And you know what it was? It's kind of I would say Kitsa didn't have like the perfect response. And I think that's what aggression is really good with. Like there's a limited amount of decision making and like mental bandwidth you have. You have a castle in your face, you're like, oh, I need to stop this right now. And so I think it's really easy to make some mistakes when that happens.
So Biscuits, I gotta run. I really appreciate you being here. I really appreciate you taking the time to cast. It was a lot of fun. Thanks to everybody in chat for joining us and supporting the stream, as always. You got any closing remarks, Biscuits, before I cue the outro?
No, not really. Yeah, just thanks for having me. It was fun, and hope everyone looks forward to the next season of Alchemy League.
That's right. Biscuits has got a really special map for next season of Alchemy League. We always appreciate when people help us out with maps. There are not enough. We don't have enough mappers. We really struggle with that. So if you know anybody or anybody in chat is willing to help us out with making maps for future seasons of Alchemy League, let us know because we really appreciate the help. And keep an eye next season for Biscuits map.
Yeah. All right.
Hopefully.
Thanks,
Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
Yep. Thanks everybody.
Fingers crossed.
And we'll catch you guys later. Thanks so much.